I did it for good luck. We were good, though. I was like, well, I'm not going to break the streak. We're winning. We kept winning. I was like, what am I going to do? Wash? Absolutely not.
It's crazy you believe those things. You're like, I'm just going to wash away all the victory.
Yeah. I'm just putting on just crunching into my gear. Just, let's go, girls. It's not what Shania Twain meant at all. Just spitting on the ice. Like, my God, you're disgusting.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. It is KFC and Nick's.
And Nick's,
Kevin and Jack.
Yeah.
Jackie and... What's the name of our show?
Oh, like the nickel...
The Nickelheads?
No, but
Chicken Heads and Nickelbackers?
The KFC...
Whatever. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Feitelberg is on the Out of Order tour with Pabs. So it is me and Jackie. Jackie in for Feitelberg's spot while she also tries to produce and edit and camera work and audio work, which we all take for granted very, very much around here. If you don't realize, we have the worst podcast equipment, systems, computers, technology in the world. Because we've been doing this for so goddamn long that I think we just have equipment from like 2012. So, yeah. a little behind the curtain how the sausage is made.
No, we're good.
Jackie's
we're
in,
good.
fights out, and so let's rip it. Let's start with Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel has been all the rage, all the talk for the last couple weeks. Made his return on Tuesday night and got emotional. Issued basically not an apology, but just sort of like an explanation, and he's back on the air. Teared up at one point, and so now the Jackie, you asked me before, like, what are people saying, and I don't necessarily know, but I can tell you that the left loves it and the right hates it because that's just pretty much everything. Mm-hmm. What I did see was some people being like, you're not like sorry, you just got in trouble, you're apologizing. First of all, I don't think he really like actually apologize as much as he said I never intended to disrespect him. That was not what my intent, but if that did happen, I guess I'm sorry for that. So some people are kind of criticizing like his reaction in that regard.
Wait, can I hear what I know that you made a 1 Minute Man on it. Can you recap what you said on that?
Yeah. We'll kind of talk all about it. So I mean, when the Kimmel news first broke, my first reaction was just like, I don't really like Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. I don't like strongly dislike him either, but my thought is, I think that the people on the right often come across as aggressive or insensitive, and people on the left are, in my mind, kind of like snarky and hypocritical and phony and fraud. Mm-hmm. Those are two different types of unlikable things in my mind. Okay. It's like I always say kind of with when we talk about the left and the right in terms of when people are like, the left needs a Joe Rogan, like the right has all these comedians. And I think that it's, for a guy, it's quote unquote easier to be on the right. Yeah. I think most guys would rather be perceived as like an asshole than a pussy. And that's kind of the right. If you're going to generalize and stereotype, those are kind of the two. You guys are like aggressive over the, alpha male assholes. And these guys over here are, they're progressive and they care about people and rights, but they also do it in a way like that's my point with Jimmy Kimmel, is that whereas the left's reputation, I think, is more, at least in their minds, they're very caring and care about others and all that shit. I think that he's just as much of a divisive person as some people on the right are, It's a different style. It's, like I said, it's not as aggressive. It's not as manly, whatever. So it's easier to like shit on that. But I think the people like Jimmy Kimmel, they make everything about politics and are always calling out Trump and demeaning to the right, are just as much to blame for this divisiveness, Mm-hmm. I don't think you can necessarily complain about like, oh, wow, the world is so divisive and everyone's at each other's throats, but then also be really pushing one side or the other. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're just, in my mind, you're just contributing to the problem.
Okay.
So when that first happened, I was kind of like, good, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, like whatever. But that was when I didn't realize that the government was like a part of it. I think if ABC solely independently said, we have like a plan in place and you're violating that. You broke some of our rules. You're affecting our bottom line, our shareholders, whatever. I think they have a right to do that. That gets dicey where it's like free speech and freedom of expression and comedy and creativity. But at the end of the day, like I think the reason I was so open or not like appalled at that right away is like that kind of has happened here. Like at Barstool, you have to operate kind of within certain rules. And there have been times where I've like broken those rules and I've either been in trouble like legally or reputationally or business wise. So like, I know people love to think of the idea of like, it's America and you can say and do whatever you want. But my thing was for a long time, I always heard you can say what you want, but there are consequences to your words.
Yeah.
It's not cancel culture. It's consequence culture. And there are consequences for your actions. So that was where initially I was like, well, wait a minute. Why are we not playing by those rules right now? Just because it's gone from the left to the right, why is it right to the left? Why does that same logic not apply? And so I do think that would apply, again, if it was just an ABC decision or something like that. But once you find out that the FCC is either directly involved or, the FCC basically said, here's what we would like to happen. And then there's a bunch of networks that are like, let's give the FCC what they want because they're trying to do this merger and they need to, make sure the administration's happy. That's where you start to get into what in my mind is a black and white, clear cut. If you are going to support the government censoring speech, you're crazy. I mean, that's like, you're crazy. So, so I posted yesterday, Joe Rogan came back to his podcast. And everyone, of course, is waiting for what Rogan's going to say. And it's like, there's really only one take. If you acknowledge that the government was like involved in some way, if you wanted to debate me that like the FCC didn't influence them, okay, we can have that debate.
Yeah.
But I think they were involved or like at least looming over it to the point that it would influence the decision,
Yeah.
I think once that's like established in any way, if there are people out there still being like, no, this was good. I mean, that's just like patently crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
It's just
not good for anybody.
Right. Now, what Rogan said that interested me was he was saying this is bad, but then he also was further saying it's because like the reason why you shouldn't be down with this is they'll turn it around and use it on you. Mm-hmm. So the people on the right who are like, hell yeah, this is good. Well, people on the left are watching and being like, okay, when we're back in power or when we control things, we're going to do the same thing to them.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this like back and forth, which is not good. But my takeaway from that was like, if there's anybody who doesn't realize that that's what's going on at this point, that's what's crazy to me. Like nobody actually cares about the issues. Nobody really cares about the principles. Nobody cares for what their party stands for. And whatever argument they've been making for the last 5, 10, 12, 16 years, the second that they could benefit from flipping on that opinion, they will do it.
Yeah.
Like I think it kind of used to be like everyone in my party, like we all kind of agree on these basic things. So like, that's why we ride together,
Yeah.
And they would stick to that like no matter what.
Yeah.
So somebody on the right who was like anti, we want less government, we want less control. But as soon as they see the opportunity to stick it to Jimmy Kimmel or stick it to the left by going against those things, they will do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that is like patently, blatantly apparent in today's world and especially in the political world. Like if you don't see that it's never actually about nobody cares about the people. Nobody's trying to protect your rights. They're just trying to get power or money or influence or popularity or whatever currency it is that they trade in, Like to me that if anybody's still surprised by that, I like when people say like, can you believe that the right is now being the snowflakes and the cancel culture? Like how crazy is that it's flipped up and how hypocritical are they? It's like, yeah, no fucking kidding. because nobody is actually principled and like is doing it for the right reasons anymore. And I don't know if they ever were. I don't know enough about like, you know, early politics of America to know if it was really rooted in issues and laws, rights, all that stuff. But
you mean like people in power?
In politics, yeah. At least it seems to me like when I learn about history, I think they kind of romanticize government and the founding fathers and freedom and all that stuff. I wonder, you know, when did it really become corrupt, or was it always corrupt? I feel like since the beginning of time, when you're talking about emperors and you're talking about, you know, back in caveman times, if there's any sort of power structure or hierarchy, I think people are using it and abusing it as opposed to like doing what's good and right, you know?
Yeah.
I just can't believe that there's anybody in the world who doesn't know that at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just, to me, it's just human nature. And it's not just politics. It's business. It's you'll see it on like the internet. You see like people flip-flopping and just doing whichever way the wind is blowing when it comes to trends, when it comes to who, like it just depends on which way the wind's blowing. Like is it do I benefit from talking this way or that way? You know, I there are many examples I think of political pundits who are preaching one way, and it's like, I can go back like 10 years and you were on a show or a platform or whatever that's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But it's just now, you know, you benefit from saying this, so I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to like even put my finger on like what feels so different and like, I mean, I hate to use like divisive or whatever now. Like, do you think it's more, would you say, I feel like now it's people versus like right versus left, not like right versus left ideologies.
Yeah,
like right versus left.
What
like
we
people,
need, like you need to
pointing fingers at like the outliers too much.
It's also the people. It's like I think there used to be a lot more, and what's crazy is
like it's getting kind of civil war-y.
Yeah, and because people take it so personal, and they are attacking the person rather than the idea or the speech or whatever, and I think that part changed. Like I do think there used to be politicians on either side that would like disagree with your party politics like to my core, but they would be friendly and civil and like literally like behind closed doors, like our friends, you know, and then outwardly I have to disagree with you and we'll debate and we'll argue and my success comes at your failure and vice versa. So like there's some inherent competition and whatever. But I really do think that they like behind closed doors would be like, yeah, that's just business, you know?
Yeah.
I think maybe that's been maybe, you know, the founding fathers were actually trying to ruin each other.
Yeah.
But again, that at least what we're taught or led to believe is that it wasn't that way. And so maybe that's changed, maybe it hasn't, but I do think it's worse now. I do think it's like when you hate somebody, like everything else goes out the window. You know what I mean? Like you will most people at least will compromise their like thoughts and beliefs if it means sticking it to someone you hate or not associating with them. Like it's hard to stand up for someone you hate. You know, it's like Charlie Kirk said a lot of like fucking horrible, stupid, ignorant shit. So it's tough in that moment to stand up and especially if you're in that world and you have a following and a fan base and all that shit, to be like, that was fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
Because the average person doesn't want to hear that. They just like, we don't like that guy, right? It's like, but that's like when you have to, if you're going to be in the world of politics and play that game, like that's when you have to stand up for, it's easy to stand up for someone when they're doing well or everything's good. It's when tragedy strikes or when things are down or when it's bad for business. That's why I always kind of appreciate people who will like, you know, compromise their money or their business for their beliefs. Because it's like, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be about it. And I do think that people have gotten so beholding to their political party or their fan base or their followers or their audience, their constituents, whatever, that they, when it really comes down to it, are like weighing the pros and cons. You know?
Because well, no, you go.
Just like when I do if I talk about politics, like every time I do it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to like lose a bunch of followers for this. I'm like, that's okay. But then there are days where I'm like, I am working so hard to build this thing. And then I'm going to speak out on something that's going to like chop it down a little bit, you know? And so, you know, there are times where I'm like, I don't care. I need to get this off my chest or I believe strongly in this. And there are other times where I'm like, it's just not worth it to fuck with my when people are like, you have a platform and you should say these things, it's like, I'm going to use my platform how I want to use it because it took a long time to build it and it could tear it all down and all that sort of shit. So even in just like little day-to-day circumstances, I think sometimes it's hard to like say what you believe or stand up for what you want to if it comes at a little bit of a cost. And then when you're playing at the highest of stakes with the biggest of jobs, the most money, and you're talking about something like murder and assassination where it's like, everything is at the highest level it can be. It's not easy to do those things. But the people who are in those positions, I think, are the people who need to be able to do that. It's like I don't expect the average Joe to understand all the nuance of this, but the really important politicians or even like the really important entertainers like probably should be,
Yeah.
But I think that's also probably the kind of the problem with I personally don't like all the comedians being involved in politics. We've said that before on here. Like it just, I guess I can't say for sure. I don't want to like speak on people that I don't necessarily know, but like, I feel like in general, we know this world and we know that it's about selling tickets, getting views, the algorithm. Like that's what those people are worried about, And I think that for the last however many years, it's kind of aligned where it's like, if I talk about Trump and politics and I embrace these sort of things, I am like speaking on these issues and I am using my platform. Some people disagree with it, but some people agree with it. But either way, you're using it. But it's because it's benefiting all the tickets and the sales. And it's when those things don't align that I don't necessarily know if the comedians will, or the entertainers or the influencers who are getting involved in the political world, it's like, are you still going to do that when it doesn't necessarily benefit from you?
Yeah.
Because again, it's easy to do these things when that is the good or the better option. And that's what you gain from. It's different when you lose because of it. And that's where I think the people who are in politics or make their content about politics, who are truly journalists and all that shit, are a little more inclined, or at least I hope they would be, to like do it for the right reasons.
Yeah. So do you think are you saying that you think it's changed politics and people are like using it for
I think so.
Media and everything?
Yeah.
It's
Like
almost,
I think
fueled it.
And maybe I'm projecting because this is just how I approach the world. Like my thought is sort of like, what is content? What's content for me today?
Yeah.
And when it happens to be politics, and it's like, oh, good. Like I can talk about like this Trump Tylenol thing and get a whole bunch of views.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I need to talk about this Trump Tylenol thing because I like disagree with it or I agree with it, whichever side of it is. Are you talking about that because putting like Trump Tylenol autism is going to get you 5x your views? Or are you doing that because you're actually informed and educated and interested in talking about that topic and pushing, it's either good or bad or whatever your opinion is? That's where I think it's like, what is your motivations and what is your intention behind it?
Yeah.
Maybe some of these guys are. Some of the comics seem to be really into it, but it's like I also think that this is more like a wave right now. This is a trend almost.
Yeah.
And
because then it feeds off of each other, and then it's like then you just get more. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that it was sort of like, if you're a creator, an influencer, and you like co-sign Donald Trump, like you're gonna get like his rabid fan base, but then it's like then he co-signs you and he goes on your show and I'll appear with him and get all these views, but then he appears with me and he gets all these votes, and it just becomes this very like mutually beneficial thing where I think it's easy to lose sight of like what's actually at the root of all that, because it's just I get views, you get votes, I get popular, you get power. We all get money. I think those are like the real motivators.
Because then I feel like the more that it feeds off each other, it just pushes the like left and right
further and further apart
to the edge. And now I also feel like both sides are like on the defense, and it's kind of like if you're like drowning, all you're thinking like in water,
survival.
The only thing is trying to survive. Where it's like that's where I feel like everyone is on both sides is using like the ideologies that we were talking about like as like defense.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like taking away from the integrity of it, I guess. Like it's like if you're gonna throw you can take anything from both sides and throw it in the other's face to be like, well, this isn't right because
there's always
I'm not explaining that well, but
No, I know there's always a like gotcha moment, or like everyone's like looking for that, like I caught you in a lie, or I caught you being hypocritical, and it, like can use it, and it's all very like you're not just having a discussion about the issues. It's like, how can it turns into like a sport, you know what I mean? It's like like debate.
Yes.
Like when you debate somebody, there inherently is kind of, it's like a little sport. That's why there's like a debate team, and that's why there's, you know, when you can like win a trophy, like you can win the debate, you know? So there is like inherently a little bit of competition where it's like you have to learn how to argue and how can I turn those points against them and all that. But when it becomes about that rather than like about the actual topic, the issue, the substance, I think that's where it all goes together. It's like are you doing it for the money and the success? Are you doing it for the ego of being right? Are you doing it because you don't like that guy and you want to put him down? Or are you doing it because it's like, I don't want misinformation about autism to be spread? You know? Those are, and that's where I can't speak for everybody. I can't speak for anybody other than myself, but I just think I know enough about this industry and this world of like, when you work so hard to become a success and either sell your tickets or sell your podcast or make your views, whatever it is, that consumes you. It just consumes like a lot of these people. And it's like, so I think that's ultimately what ends up being your motivator, which is fine and only human. But I think those are just not the people we should be turning to for our answers or our information or tell me how to think.
Because they have like an ulterior motive.
Yeah, and that's where, like, so right now this Tylenol thing is happening. I haven't, I don't know all the details, but more or less it just sounds like Trump and RFK and the administration is just being like, Tylenol causes autism. And, a lot of people immediately are sort of like, okay, well, who's benefiting from this? Like, are the pharmaceutical companies like not playing ball with Trump? And now he's like, gonna put out this information about them so that people don't use Tylenol, right?
Yeah.
And people right away are like, follow the money and follow, that's part of the problem with pharmaceuticals and vaccines and stuff. It's like, why do people have a problem with it? Because they're making billions of dollars if you take this vaccine. And people are willing to make that connection all the time.
Yeah.
They're sort of like, oh, well, if big business is involved and they're lining their pockets, they are corrupt or they are influenced or whatever. I don't know why that doesn't apply to content, where it's like, I almost feel like the first line of thought should be like, oh, well, you're benefiting from saying this.
Yeah.
It's good for you to be Team Trump. It's good, you know what I mean? Like, why don't people make that leap when it comes to the content?
Yeah. I like with the Kimmel thing, for example, I feel like him coming, like the fact that there was even talk of the FCC being involved, the government being involved, it's like, if we don't preserve some kind of, I don't know. If we don't like, I don't know how to explain it, I guess.
What, if we don't preserve?
I feel like if the government wants to really get involved in, like, they can do it through big money corporations. They can like find their loopholes or whatever. They're going to be able to do that. I think once the people know that like the government is involved, like the illusion of free speech is important to preserve right now, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like, if Kimmel was off the air and then we were like, oh shit, well, like there's a lot of people think that the government was involved, that would almost be like, all right, well, now the foundation of American whatever free speech, all that is like really starting to get, now we're blurring the lines too much.
Yeah.
I think that it's beneficial for both sides that Kimmel came back, had an apology, all that, because if not, the lines are going to get,
the whole thing like
the
falls
whole
apart.
thing starts to fall apart.
Yeah, that's why I mean, that
you
was
can
kind
do whatever
of Rogan's
back
take was
doors.
just like, you're crazy if you support this, because it just opens up this can of worms that like you can't undo a lot of the stuff if you really start to go down this path, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I think you could also, you get a little tinfoil hat kind of conspiracy. It's like, I think the government's been controlling a lot of things for a long time and giving you the illusion of certain things.
But that's why it's like,
but
it's
you need
important
to keep
preserve
that.
the idea that we have freedom, you know?
Totally. That for sure matters. It's like, you live in a free country. It's like, not really, but it's freer than others, and you feel that way, and it like, yeah.
And I would like to at least think that
Pretend.
I do.
Let's keep up this.
Somebody said the other day that, because we were talking about like why they keep talking about trains, like fast trains bullet trains being a thing, and then we're like, why haven't we seen a bullet train anywhere? And then they were like, well, all the big major flight or
do not even get me. The fact that we don't have trains in this country.
Oh yeah, okay. Is this like a known like?
Yeah, I mean it's just like you look at every other country, especially Europe. Like you can get anywhere by train.
Yeah,
super fast and super convenient. And then you look at a map of ours, and we have like 5 railroads, 5 major railroads, like one over here, one this way, one that way, and that's it. And yeah, I think it's because airlines and lobbyists and whoever are like, the minute that you could just hop on a train and get to Florida instead of a plane, guess what you're gonna do? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that radically changes the airline industry, which is a probably $1 trillion thing. So like, yeah, I mean, there's that, you can go down that road. There's trains. There's like, I'm pretty sure we have the technology and the understanding of like free and clean energy, but then you don't have oil money and you don't have, so there's a lot of shit that I think like the government either controls or suppresses that you don't even know about or think about. But it's when it starts to like creep into your television, it's like most people aren't necessarily sitting around and really flipping out about trains, Yeah. But all of a sudden, like your favorite comedian or your favorite late night host or something is being affected, and it like brings it to an everyday level for the average person to scream and yell about. You know? But it's
Well, I was just gonna say, I also like on Fishbowl we were kind of talking about, but like everyone should just go to Europe for a little bit. I mean, if you can, but like whenever I'm in Europe, I mean, I see a lot of problems with this country, but like I'm always just like, I fucking love America, dude.
Yeah,
like,
people take that shit for granted a lot, and they shouldn't. But I also understand why they do. It's sort of like when your parents are like, well, there's starving people in Africa, and it's like, well, if you apply the like worst extreme, if your logic is to always just be like, well, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it's like. I almost think like taking it for granted is a little bit of the benefit of being in a free country like America. Yeah, like you shouldn't take it for granted, but it's like you shouldn't have to wake up in the morning and worry about like your safety, your clean water, like all these things that there are people who do. Yeah. But it's like not only does America provide that, but I think you should be able to like accept that as the baseline. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, boy, it's like girls dating, like the bar's on the floor here, Yeah. It's like you shouldn't have to worry about the absolute little basics. Yeah. Should you be aware of it and cognizant of it and appreciative of it? Yes. But I don't think that you should necessarily apply like, but it's true. Once you travel a little bit and you see how some of the other, and I'm not even, you go to like a third world country, it's very apparent, but you go anywhere and it's like, oh, that's not how we do things back home. And it's much better my way, Well,
I thought of it because like, I feel like I started to love big corporations because I love the consumerism that occurs in grocery stores when you have a million different options of something. And in Europe, it's just like you get one.
You get what you get.
You get one. I want my options.
Yeah. What you're describing is just big American consumerism. Yep.
But it's like, if I want a sparkling water, I have a million different flavors to choose from. Which is
the proliferation of water is fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's gone nuts.
Like, first of all, it's hilarious that it's like water is like relatively new.
Yeah, I know.
Like people just weren't drinking water back in the day. It's like, yeah, this is our fuel, man. You absolutely need this. But the fact that there's like 100 different brands of just plain ass water. Armor? All you need is body armor with all the electrolytes and all the alkaline and all the. It's like what, there's a million different sodas, but they have different flavors and different tastes and consistencies. Like that makes sense, but the water is crazy.
Yeah. It takes up like the whole like
it's a whole section. Yeah. I mean, imagine like I'm trying to think of another comparison, but I don't think there is anything. It's like if you owned a store that specialized in like this type of food and you went in and you had every flavor of it, sort of like whiskey. So you go to a bar and like, I saw a whiskey bar the other day, it was like a library with the ladders, like those type of libraries that are like, shelves to the ceiling, wide, and it had every different type of whiskey. And there are people who love whiskey enough that they know all the different flavors and tastes and different styles. This one's sweet, this one's spicy, all that. But people do that. There's that level of selection for H2O. But that's, I think that all kind of ties into it. American consumerism and like wanting and desires and selection. It's like all part of our way of life. And that all plays into what I'm talking about here, where it's, it's almost like it's just a luxury to be able to focus on those things, where other countries are like, we're still like really focusing on free speech. Like we take that shit for granted. The Tylenol thing is interesting. It's like, what I can't believe is there are just a lot of people out there who are just like, okay, Tylenol bad. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, wow, I can't believe I've been taking Tylenol all this time and it was bad for me. And it really crystallized for me how many people, if you're deep in politics, they just believe what they're being told. You know? Like this one's so silly to me that it's like,
where did it stem from?
I think Trump just like came out and had a press conference. I'm sure RFK started it because he's like the czar of like health and consumer and FDA and all that shit. But I think Trump just kind of came out and said it. I mean, he couldn't pronounce a set of, I can't either, but I'm also not the president giving a speech on this. Acetaminophen.
Oh.
How do you say it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say it either. But again, if I was the president going up to give a speech, I would be ready on that. They just like came out and said it will harm you and it causes autism during pregnancy, and people were just like, "Oh, that's what it is. I took pregnancy and that's why my kid's autistic." And it's just like, anything that man says, and I'm sure if it was Biden or Kamala, anything that man or woman said, the other side would just believe blindly. And I think it's funny that in this world, I feel like there's Feitelbergs and there's Clancy's. It's like John will kind of take things at face value and would be inclined. I don't think he would believe something like crazy and silly like that, but like you don't want to be the nut who like questions every single thing. But also I think it's a little crazy to just be like, oh, okay, you said so. I will no longer buy that, consume that, use that, whatever. And then, especially something with like autism, vaccines, pharmaceuticals, you can find any stat and any number in the world to argue whichever side you want. There was a big map. It said like, do you really think this is like just genetic or something like that? And it had cases of autism and it had a map of the world. Yeah. And it was like, the most cases are red and the least cases are like blue, whatever. Yeah. The whole other rest of the world is mostly blue, and like America is like red hot red, Okay. And so some people will look at that and be like, oh yeah, no, like Tylenol's causing it. We use Tylenol the most. It's from vaccines, it's things, whatever. But then there's also, and that might be true, I don't know. But there's also like, we have the best doctors in the world. We do like the most autism care. We have the most diagnosed cases. There's a bunch of countries where it's like, we're not even taking you to a doctor because we don't have these other freedoms and these other, standard things that we take for granted. So it's like, you could look at that and say, oh yeah, America is like causing the autism. Or you can look at it and be like, America's doctors and programs and scientists and all that like understand it better and are diagnosing it more and all that. So it's like, there's higher cases because all those kids are getting diagnosed and getting care and so you can, especially in that world. I mean, the pharmaceutical companies I think have just made a living off of like, okay, how do we fudge these numbers and change these things to make sure that we can sell this product or avoid the drawbacks or whatever.
I also? Oh no. Go.
I was just gonna say that to me just feels like the most like it's money related, it's power related, it's business lobbying. Like I don't know, they just picked Tylenol and went after it. I'm sure there's a reason why. They're not giving the administration what they want, or everyone's. I could see a world where like every politician right now is like, all right, let's short the company who deals with Tylenol and we're going to buy the company, stock in the company that does Advil or whatever both sides of it are, and everyone makes a bag off it, because this one just seems like so fucking random and out of nowhere that there's got to be a reason.
I think that the pharmaceutical company, like industry, we've just lost, like just let them fuck us. Like it's,
bro, I mean,
we've lost like the plot on that.
Truly, I mean,
That's
everyone
corrupt.
knows about like the opioid crisis and the big pharma, and there's movies and all that. Like people know about it. I still don't think people fully grasp the scope of like how insidious and like just downright morally depraved that was.
Yeah,
where it was
yeah.
just like, this is gonna kill and ruin a fuck ton of people.
Yeah.
And we don't care. We're just gonna like suppress that study, push this one, like get the doctors to fudge it, and now you got a whole country hooked on it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the opioid crisis is like, no. The fucking opioid crisis.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And the fact it's to me, in my mind at least, it's similar to like when people talk about Sandy Hook or the school shootings and they're like, if we never changed that day, we'll never change at all.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like if we couldn't all come together and like figure out a way to like stop the pharmaceutical crisis, I don't know, we never will. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
we can't. It just seems like if I don't even know how you would go about that. But it's like controlling guns, controlling drugs. It's like there's just too many people in this country, too much money involved to ever like expect that's going to change.
Yeah.
You know?
And the such like a almost like taboo. Yeah, like there's a lot of
Stigma
like,
around it.
stigma, too much
Totally.
stigma. Yeah,
Totally.
everything that's like,
Yeah, I mean, I still think, especially in like the drug world, you come from like a world of everything in pop culture and movies and television. It's always like a homeless person. It's always
Yeah.
a dangerous person, a crazy person. And I think that contributes to people just being like out of sight, out of mind. That's not me and my people. So like, I don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And when you start to realize it's like affected the entire country and it's all because of politicians and pharmaceutical bigwigs and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know how you would go about stopping that, you know?
Yeah, because there's like too much money to ever.
I don't know how anybody changes anything. Like, sometimes I feel like the country is just, it's a snowball rolling down a hill and like you can't stop it, you know? Like, the two-party system, I think, sucks.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how we would change that.
Yeah.
Like, the independent party's always a joke. There's nothing beyond a potential, like, third-party fake candidate. You know, other countries have, like, 10 people, 5 parties, all this shit. And I don't know. I haven't voted. I used to think of that as like a embarrassing like scarlet letter where I was like, oh, I'm one of those people who's like ignorant and don't care, or at least that's how people are going to perceive me. And I still think there are plenty of people who would say, you live in America, you have the right to vote and exercise, you know, your freedoms, and you're not doing it. You're taking it for granted. I get all that. But more than ever, I now feel like justified in that decision. You know?
Yeah.
Where I used to be like, I don't like either party. I don't like either candidate. And people would be like, well, you still should pick one and, you know, like I said, exercise your right to vote and all that. But it's reached a point where it's like, I think I am morally and logically, mentally, emotionally opposed to like both.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I can't just, pick your poison or the lesser of two evils or whatever. I feel more justified than ever in abstaining, and I'm sure that's frowned upon, and I'm sure people disagree with that. But I think the argument could be made more than ever now, because it's like I really think both sides have deep, deep problems and issues that I can't really co-sign.
Yeah.
You know, because of that. But what would it take to?
I don't know.
Like, neither Democrats nor Republicans would ever allow like a third party of legit competition, or a fourth or a fifth. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So some of those things just feel like.
Do you think it's a bubble that needs to burst, or do you think it's just going to continue?
No, that's what I think. Unfortunately, like, you know what's interesting is when, again, to go back to like what you learn in history, it's like I think about like the fall of Rome.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and it's like that just happened. Like that, they used to run shit, and they had it all, and it just fell.
And we're a quarter of like, or
yeah,
like not a quarter, but like
right.
a fraction.
And but it's more so that it's like those things can happen, and I think they have to happen. You know,
Yeah.
like I think you either maintain control like forever, you just become like this authoritarian like dictatorship or some shit, right? Or like eventually it goes away. I just don't think anybody's ever. I don't think any country, party, politician, whatever, is ever proactive enough to be like, we need to make some changes here, even if it like lessens our power or we lose some influence. Like, let's do this for the long term. I don't think anybody thinks that way. You know, it's like I have my 4 years, maybe 8 years in power. I'm going to do what I want now, or at least, you know, try to do those things. And I, you know, it's weird because you think in the modern day, like, I don't know, when I think of like the fall of Rome, I think of it being like medieval battles and shit like that. Like, you know, Rome got like sacked in a war and that's why it fell. Right. Yeah. And it's like in the modern world, I don't know if that happens, but I think it's just a different version of like falling. You know what I mean? Where it's like you lose some of your economic impact and you know, the Civil War type shit starts to occur and like I don't know, your country's power and influence just falls that way. But I don't know. It does feel to me like you would need like a catastrophe to occur to enact any change, you know?
Yeah. John said something like, I think during the election that was fun. It was really funny, but like he was kind of saying that he was like saying with the transgender and the transgender rights, he was like, we need to like focus on like, we'll come back for you, but like right now, like we can't.
Yeah.
We can't whatever. And I kind of think of that because like now it feels like it. I don't know. I didn't have a whatever.
No, go ahead.
I just like that is like how I think about politics now is like we're kind of losing like it seems like again what I was saying on the defense like now it's just like a survival like
you're not focusing on those little things anymore because it's like we're in a war.
You're
and constantly fighting
and that's when I feel like it starts to break down is like that's what feels like kind of warish about it. I guess is it reminded me of the fall of Rome is it's just like all right we'll come back for you in battle like all
like right now we got bigger
fish
to fry, but it's like not really. All these things are important. They're gonna it's like anything else that you put off and procrastinate. It's like eventually this is all gonna hit you at the same time and you're fucked.
Yeah. It's sad because I really do think that people are inherently good, but like
I never know about that. Again, it's like Feitelberg's and Clancy's like Fights will always tell you that like he thinks people are good and happy, and he's probably right just because like on a day-to-day basis, for the most part, we're not killing each other and we're not at each other's throats. But I think more often than not, you will find people disagreeing and not like-minded and taking it personal. And I mean, you really just got to get back to like fighting arguments and not people. You know? But it does take a special level of maturity and understanding and like empathy and all those words to be like, I really disagree with what you're saying, but like we're still cool.
Yeah.
I think, you know, because when you're talking about like rights issues, it's like I can understand if you really are passionate about gay rights, trans rights, abortion, gun control, whatever, all these like serious issues. When people disagree with that, that's not just like, oh, you root for one team and I root for another. It's like you're talking about like deeply entrenched, you know, feelings and like emotions and things that you've learned. I read the other day, psychologist was like, the worst thing you can do is cut family out of your life over politics.
Yeah.
Like you need your family, you need your support system. Those are people that like, you know, you should at all costs try to keep a relationship with them, you know?
Yeah.
And to just like be like, I'm cutting my parents out of my life because we disagree on politics is just, I don't think something that ever happened like on a wide scale.
Yeah.
And it seems to be happening a lot now. And it's crazy. I don't know. But it's equally as crazy to just be like, turn a blind eye if you know, your parents disagree with some of the things that you believe like in your core, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's funny it's a weird spot where it's like, should you just kind of let that go unchecked and bury your head in the sand and have like a happy, that's what I like personally on a day-to-day basis. Like I disagree with my mother at times, but like she's the most important person in my life. And I will just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree or just lie to her and agree with her and whatever, because I need her and want her in my life. And other people don't make that decision. I think you're going to regret that. I think in, you know, what happens 4 years from now, the Democrats are back in office, you know, it's like, now you don't have a parent. Now you have done irreparable harm to your brother or sister, whatever. And I think the real thing, like maybe I was wondering like what it's going to take to get people to like see the light or change. And I think since the internet has really started cooking, we've only had a couple presidencies. I wonder if the ball going back and forth a few times where people realize that like their day-to-day life is really not changing that much. You know what I mean? Like there is some fucked up stuff going on and you are losing some rights and like certainly, especially with women's rights, there are people in certain states where like their lives have definitely been drastically affected.
Yeah.
And that, you know, you sympathize with and you want to fix and change. But like on the whole, it's not like, you know, all these things we've been talking about, that you still have your freedoms, you still have your safety, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's like right now, once the proliferation of social media happened and podcasting and comedians and all this shit, it's basically coincided with the Trump era, you know? So I feel like a lot of people who disagree with that are like, we have to put an end to this. It's like, okay, well, what if we put an end to it and now your team is back in power and you realize, oh, there's still a bunch of like corrupt shit going on and life's still difficult and there are still good and bad and problems and benefits and like, and then it's like, oh, okay, well, so maybe, and then it goes back to the Republicans, back to, you know, if it goes back and forth a few times in this internet era where you realize like, okay, wait a minute, it's not the end of the world, or my team didn't save the day and change everything, you know?
Maybe it's not like a monopoly almost. From one side.
Right. And maybe, you know, I mean, we did a little bit of that. It's like, I personally, the difference of Trump and Biden administration, like there are differences. There's some good, there's some bad, but overall, I think
it balances out.
Generally the same, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that because if you're one of these marginalized groups, you'd be like, yeah, easy for you to say, you know, wealthy white man who's got no problems in the world. Like, yeah, of course you feel that way. I do understand that. I'm just saying on a very broad general sense, like, it's almost like recognizing your own like kind of insignificance. It's like when you think you and your party are going to change everything and maybe you do enact change, you're like, oh, well, that was like an unintended consequence. That's already bad. Or when you can't enact change and you're just like, I don't know, this is just, it's not worth blowing up your family or radicalizing, you know, losing your job and like all these crazy things. Like, and I don't know what it would take for people to realize that maybe other than enough time goes by where you realize that major wholesale changes are not coming one way or the other. If you're going to trade crypto, do it right. Don't use a sketchy platform. Don't use, a platform that has no customer support, where there's scams and schemes going on. Use Kraken. I use Kraken. Everybody who's like a normal person should use Kraken. It's the easiest, most understandable, digestible, and effective way to buy, sell, and swap crypto coins. They have over 300 coins available for you to trade. They have Kraken Pay, which allows you to shift money back and forth between accounts. So you can do that with your friends where, you know, I'll get this round. You cover the bill for dinner. We're going to go on a trip. I got your ticket, whatever it may be. You can send money back and forth. It's no fees. It's instantaneous. And they also have a referral fee. So once you start trading on Kraken, you're going to realize how great it is, how easy it is, how safe it is. And you tell your friend, if you want to trade crypto, you use Kraken too. Use the referral code. You can get a bonus of $200 of USDG just for spreading the good word of crypto. You can link to your bank in minutes, set it and forget it, watch your portfolio grow. You don't have to be hands-on every single second of the day watching. You can just stack your strats and make that money, automate your investments, or you can be hands-on and use it. But either way, Kraken's got you covered, guaranteed to be safe, easy, effective, and kind of takes the scariness out of crypto. I know some people are worried and they think they could get hacked and they can lose it and they don't know what coins to buy or where to buy, how to buy it. Kraken's got it all. So quit waiting. Head to kraken.com/barstool. Sign up today. Start trading. Tell your friends to sign up and reap the benefits. That's kraken.com/barstool. Not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers excluding Washington, New York, and Maine through Payward Interactive Inc.
Like, I feel like even throughout life, like as I get older, all the ups and downs, like, you know, when you're younger, you go through a breakup, you go through like getting rejected somewhere and you're like, oh, end of the world. End of the world. End of the world. And then when you're on a high, then you go, oh, I'm happy now. I made it. Mm-hmm. And then a few months later, you come crashing down. And like the older you get, you're more just like.
But yeah, you do that 3-4 times, the breakup, and you're like, okay, I'll survive. You know?
And then you recognize like that is life, is like ups. It's never going to be
ever.
And it's just like the wave. The same thing with politics. You're right. Like it is just like if like maybe we're just so young now that we're like feeling the ups. in the right now.
Well,
the breakup
that's also
and
a big part of it. Like, kind of usually the joke is like you're born a Democrat, you die a Republican. You know, but I think there's some truth to that where it's like I really align with a lot of the ideologies of the left, but they are idealistic. A lot of the times it's like, I don't know if these are plausible or pragmatic or whatever. And as you get older, that shit is so true. I mean, I probably more than ever at this age am realizing the value or just the effect of experience. Yeah. Because when you fail a test in middle school, it is the end of the world. Yeah. And, we kind of roll our eyes at like, when I see a college kid being like, oh, it's midterms, I'm like so stressed, or a girl goes through a breakup and it's like, her high school boyfriend and she's acting like the end of the world. And as an adult, you tend to roll your eyes. But in that moment, that person is experiencing that for the first time. Yeah, yeah. Failure, heartbreak, whatever bad thing they're feeling it for the first time, harder than they've ever felt it. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I bet you've looked at like their brain activity. It's the same thing as like a soldier at war. Yeah. It seems silly to think that, but it's like they are feeling that way because they don't have the experience to tell them this is not that big of a deal. Yeah. Because you just can't buy experience. You can't fake experience. You have to be 20 years older to look back and be like, that midterm in, 2004 did not matter. Yeah, yeah. You can't tell that to somebody. Your boyfriend, you're going to have a million other boyfriends. Like, but I didn't. I had one. And I really told myself we were going to get married. And now we're not, Yeah. So, and like, I really, that, like the phrase of like ignorance is bliss, I really think is so true. Because it's just like, the more, at least I think if you're like a somewhat intelligent person who like cares. Yeah. If you are kind of a dummy and you just really can float through life, then like, whatever. God bless you. Those people are the best. Yeah. I would love to be one of them. But it's like if you care and you think and you whatever, once you start to learn more, it's like, fuck, I got to worry about that. Well, now I'm worried about this. And now I learned about that. And I disagree with that. And and I added bills to my plate. And I added relationships to my plate. And I got a new job. And it's just like you add all of that to your plate. And that, really changes who you are. Because when you're a kid, you just don't go through any of those things, Yeah, yeah, yeah. I might just be too like young and like ignorant and like stuff might start. But I feel like the mindset that has made me like feel the most at peace has been kind of like what we were talking about before, like riding the wave. Like now when bad stuff happens to me, I mean, I'll be really sad, but I will like acknowledge like this is just like laugh at myself for being so human, like just be like, this is just a human emotion, like some you gotta go through heartbreak. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably a little bit of like a defense mechanism too. Like I know it certainly was for me. I've gone through enough like bad stuff that I tell myself when I'm on my deathbed. Yeah. I've said this before, like I lived life. Yeah. I did it all. I had ups, I had downs, extremes of love and heartbreak and failure and success and no money and money and popularity and not popularity, likable, unlikable, all that shit. And do I wish that I just like kind of led like a more level, even life? Where just like, I got a job, got married. Was any of it like fireworks? No, but I also never like hit any valleys either. Yeah. Would you rather live that life or one that was like loved hard and hated hard, made money, lost money, like did well, did fail, like I don't know what's better. All I know is that having done one of the up and down versions, I am latching on to like, yeah, man, that's just life. That's just being a human. Like I feel like I'm like Matthew McConaughey, man. That's just living your life, dude. Like that's what being a man is all about. And it's like maybe I'm wrong, but I do know I'm at least trying to believe that. Yeah, like missing your flight is so inherently human that it's like like almost beautiful, just like that whole like being like fuck. And then, like if you attempt to experience like the feelings of sadness and failure and the bad feelings as like they're just, I think about that movie Inside Out. Yeah, there's all the emotions, right? And like they're all main characters, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, joy is like the big deal, and then like guilt or whatever is the bad ones. But if you just treat it as like, this is all a learning experience, this is all something to teach someone else with or feel and just whatever, you know what I mean? And like, rather than trying to like avoid it, fight it, just like, yeah, man, that's part of the fucking gig. Because you really can't avoid it. That's the other thing is like, I bet if I think like the number one thing in the world, like if we could all walk a mile in each other's shoes, it would make all the difference in the world. Because there are times where I'm like pretty stressed out about stuff and I'm like, I think objectively I've got a lot on my plate.
Yeah, you do.
I think so. Yeah. And, you know, when I hear people like you agree with that, I'm like, okay, I think I'm kind of justified in like freaking out a little bit. But, you know, I would love to walk a mile in someone's shoes and be like, oh, well, they don't have those issues, but the issues they do have make them feel the exact same way.
Yeah,
you know? So it's like, maybe your life is just missing flights. But if it makes you feel the way I feel when I'm dealing with bills and divorce and the internet and all that stuff, then hey, like stop complaining. Because everybody, you know, it's like if I were able to transfer into the body of someone who was living that very medium life, and I realized that like they don't feel that much happier or they don't feel that much more relaxed or something, I'd be like, oh, all right, well, then shut the fuck up or whatever, you know what I mean? But you can't like
that's empathy. That's like,
yeah. And I mean, empathy is, you gotta like, I think it's a little bit like constructed. You can't like actually feel it. You have to like,
you leave space.
You're cosplaying. I'm holding space. Holding space for your experience.
Yeah. I think like I feel like the past few years kind of like freaked out about like what am I gonna do with my life, like what like job stuff. But then I kind of sit back and I'm just like, but what a blessing to like live it, like have the trope of like living in New York, trying to make it in New York. Like
there are people who would like, you're their dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but like, no, but like this, it's
there
like,
are.
I feel like playing out certain tropes in life is so like funny and just such a blessing that, I don't know.
I think like stereotypes exist for a reason.
Yeah.
Tropes are a thing because it
Bonds.
garners a reaction from people. You bond over it. Like, you know, when they're, it's like every time I walk off of a plane in like a new city, like I have a song on and I like walk out of the plane and I'm like, I'm the main character, you know? And it's corny and like stupid, but it's like, but there's a reason why that evokes that feeling, you know? It's like every time I'm like driving down the West Side Highway of New York, like there are times it's like sunset, I got music blasting, I'm like driving on the Hudson, I can see the skyline or the bridge or whatever it is, and I'm like, this is fucking cool, you know?
Yeah.
And like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like enjoy those things because I think there's a reason why movies have those montages or have those songs and have those moments because it makes you like feel a way. So when you can have those moments in your life, like, yeah, like let it rip, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there genuinely are people who are like, I would to be a 20-something girl living in the city, in New York City, in her own apartment, working at like a media company on the internet. Like that is I will kill someone to be that.
Yeah.
You know? And you're like, that's just my job and that's just what I do. And you're worried about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and that's totally like normal and natural too. But it's like, there are people who want that. And like, so embrace that. Live that a little bit. Don't take it for granted. You
even
know?
with like the Danny stuff, like I can feel myself like being so like swept up in everything and like talking about it with other people. And like, I can hear myself just being like, but then I'm just like, just let yourself.
Absolutely. Get swept up in love. Like, if you're not going to get swept up when, like, someone sweeps you off your feet.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point?
Literally, what's the point?
And, like, now, should you be, like, stupid and, like, naive and, like, I don't know. You let somebody walk all over you because you got, like, swept in love?
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But, like, you know, obviously you still have to, like, control the situation. But, like, yeah, that's the whole point. To get swept off your feet by a person or a job or a moment or a thing, you know? It's like, if you're not doing those things, then like literally what's the point of living?
Yeah,
you
that
know?
being said, if I get too cringe or anything, like you gotta reel me back. But like, yeah, like that.
Bro,
like,
I'll tell you right now, you're gonna marry Danny Conrad. You're gonna marry Danny Conrad.
Really?
You're gonna marry Danny Conrad. You're gonna marry him one day. Not saying soon. I'm just saying you guys are. It's a wrap.
Whatever happens,
you're off the market, girl.
happens.
Just get swept. Just get swept.
Just get swept. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever happens.
But that is like, you know, it's also, that's a lot easier to do when you're younger. So like really enjoy those moments because like I don't know. There's not like sweep you off your feet moments, I think, when you get older. Or maybe actually I shouldn't say that, because what I was going to say earlier about like getting older is like, as a 40-year-old, I look back on some of my decisions in like my 20s and some of the things I was thinking and going through. I'm like, boy, that was like stupid or ignorant or immature or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But like, it also applies to like 35. Like the difference between 35 and 40 is huge to me.
But I feel
and
like
I bet 42 to 40 is going to be, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, I do think it just keeps going, which kind of freaks me out.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't think you'll ever have life figured out,
Yeah.
you know? And that's a weird thought, but that's why it's better, I think, just to let yourself get swept up, because it's like, you think you know, and maybe 2 years from now, you're going to feel the 100% opposite, you know, because whatever changed in your life, you know?
Yeah.
Like yeah, even just from year to year, I'm like, oh, I don't even worry about that anymore, you know?
But I don't even know if life would be interesting if you did, like, if you felt like you're like, all right, I made it, I'm good, whatever. And then you're just like, I have like 40 more years to live, 80, like whatever. Like, wouldn't you kind of feel?
Totally. I mean, that's also
But it is like an unsatisfying feeling to be like, I'm never going to like feel there.
that's what I don't want to be complacent. I like to keep moving forward. I always want to like, what's next? I'm a big believer in like, there's always somebody more successful than you, richer than you, more popular than you, whatever. Like you can always attain more, you know? But that like flies in the face of the idea of like, stop and smell the roses. You
Yeah.
know? And I gotta at least personally try to strike a better balance of that, you know? Like, I don't know. If you had to be one extreme or the other, which would you rather be? The person who is a little bit complacent and like, so maybe you don't reach your full potential because you're resting on your laurels, but every single day you like enjoy and you're like, this is good, you know?
Yeah.
But then you look up when you're like 60 and you're like, man, I haven't really done much more than this.
Yeah.
And you regret it. It's kind of like, it's almost like
Good
one
question.
lifestyle is hedging against and fighting against having regrets down the road.
Yeah.
And the other lifestyle is like, I'm not going to worry about down the road. I'm just going to enjoy right now. And which is better, which is, you know, I mean, that's probably a personal decision. And,
Yeah.
and
Well, it's kind of
obviously
like
a balance is the best idea, but if you had to pick one, which would you pick?
probably the ups and downs, like the fighting just for like entertainment purposes. Like it seems like a little bit more like entertaining to shoot for something all the time.
Yeah.
But it's
the swimming pool, man. I go back. It's life is a swimming pool. It's like there was a time where I was like, having a pool is the coolest thing you can have.
Yeah.
And then you get a pool and you're like, I haven't swam in my pool in 6 months, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
because you're on to the next thing that you really think is the most important, you know?
But you know, I think I always grew up with a pool. So, I mean, I grew up with one, but like, and I never learned how to swim. But I always acknowledged, and I always loved that pool because I was like, I could learn how to swim.
It's
there.
It's like America. It's going back to like the free
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah, exactly.
I can, you know, I don't need to fight for this right. I just kind of have it. It's
Yeah,
like I have my
yeah,
pool in
yeah.
my backyard.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so maybe if you could have some kind of like balance of that mindset of, I don't know.
Well, I also, you know, what's like, I go back a lot to like my early blogging days. And I used to say things with like such certainty and such arrogance. And it's like, you didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. But that's where it scares me that I'm like, my 50-year-old self is going to say that about my 40-year-old self.
Yeah.
Like, I think I have some things figured out right now, and I'm going to learn, no, the fuck you do not, you know?
Yeah.
So then I go full circle. I'm like, well, then just talk and say whatever you want, because you're always a work in progress.
Yeah.
If you were
yeah.
to say, like, I'm only going to put out content and speak on issues once I have figured it out, you'll never do it because you never figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're always going to learn and evolve and change.
Yeah. I think I had like a friendship in high school and we would always fight like back and forth. And like both of us were like so strong in our, like I could tell that she like knew that she really thought that she was right. And I was like, I really think I'm right on this. But like, I almost feel like that did a good job of reframing my mindset where like now I leave space for like.
That's what we're talking about with the politics.
Exactly.
It's like people can't understand that, you know, Charlie Kirk said like DEI hires are a bad idea.
Yeah.
Whatever, pick a topic, he did. And I think the problem comes in where it's like, do you actually believe that? Or are you just saying it, like I said, for all those other reasons, money, fame, all that? Because if you're out there spewing like dumb shit, and I know you're doing it because like your podcast audience really likes you and you're going to sell tickets because of that, then like, fuck you, you know?
Yeah.
But if you really feel like I really am passionate about like gun control, I really think we should do it. But if I could like tap inside someone's brain and they like genuinely feel like if we don't have the right to bear arms, like the government's going to like take us over and like the country's going to fall apart. If you like actually feel that way, you got to kind of respect it. Like, or not respect it, but like hold space for it or whatever the fuck you want to say. Cause it's like, they think they're right. Even crazy shit, fundamentalist terrorists and shit. It's like those people believe this. So what do you expect from them, you know?
Yeah, I think it's like when there's also people who believe stuff like maybe because I might cut this, but like because they might be like inherently racist or something.
Yeah, no,
like
definitely.
That's when I'm like again, I think like
but even
gun
that,
control,
like,
there are people who actually genuinely think like, oh fuck, if we like, you know, it's gonna be a domino effect. But when people like use it, A, to get tickets, and B, also there's like people who use politics to like
push a fucked up agenda or like
exactly. Like that's when I'm like,
no, totally, totally.
But that's obvious.
But I think I'm not saying you have to like it or just be like, oh yeah, that's your opinion. But I think you have to recognize that some people are saying those things because they really believe it just as much as you believe the opposite. And you can continue to argue against it and all that shit, but I think your approach needs to change where it's just like once you realize that they really feel as passionately about one side as you do the other, it's going to change your argument, your debate, whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh wow, I think you're just being like dumb, but this is. Your brain is telling you. It's like that kid who failed a test. His brain is telling him that's the most important thing that's ever happened. It's like, I promise you it's not. But you can't just... Yeah. That's what's, you know, in relationships a lot too. It's like, you can't tell someone their feelings are wrong. Yeah. It might be irrational. It might be illogical. It might be emotional and might be based on like an incorrect fact or something. But what they're feeling that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. That's why I have my long-standing. If I could do one thing in the world, it would be to simplify breakups. Yeah. That's why I originally said pineapple was the emoji, and then that became pineapple became the international sign for swinging. So it can't be pineapples. But like, you're in a relationship with someone. If I send you the owl emoji. Yeah. It means we're done. Like, it means I've fallen out of love with you. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. I don't want to hurt you. And I'm sorry I'm breaking up with you. Yeah. But rather than go through this whole thing, owl, you go, I go, we're gone. And I know that's obviously not like healthy and you can't do that. But I get a kick out of like, I'm watching a show last night and this guy's like, there's a breakup happening. Mm-hmm. And he's like arguing against her, you know? Yeah. Trying to like convince her to stay. And it's like, it's over, dude. Yeah. Like, you can't, no one's going to be like, oh, you're right. I am back in love with you. Yeah. Because you argued your points. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Again, it would be something like if you broke up with me because I cheated and I was like, I didn't cheat. That's a different story. But if it's just like, I don't love you enough anymore. I feel like we're going in different directions. I feel like you're holding me back. Whatever your fucking reasoning is. And if someone's like, no, that's actually not true because of X, Y, Z. No one in the history of the world has ever been like, you've convinced me. You're right. I am now back in love with you. I don't know. I do feel like it's like breakups. I feel like I've had a lot of friends who try and break up with people multiple times, but then it doesn't work because they're like, no, you should break up with me because like I'll like, how'd it go? You might effectively keep the relationship. You might like win that argument, but no one's their emotions. Yeah, that's why you break up on the second or third time because the emotions don't actually change. Yeah, that's a good point. I again, generalities. I'm sure there's a couple examples where like someone really didn't realize what they had and then they do and you're like, okay, you're right. But like for the most part, once you've reached that point of no return, especially because it's usually like, I felt this 6 months ago, and I just built up the courage to say it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's been problems, there's been issues, and I just think that the amount of strife and worry and hurt that breakups cause when it's like both people, by the way, it's like, you know, usually the dumper gets all the sympathy, but dumping someone's just as shitty, you know, in a different way.
And there's no like songs to help you through it. Like
very, very rare, you know.
You don't get to feel sorry for yourself.
That kind of goes back to what I'm talking about, where, you know, when you really put yourself in someone else's shoes, if you could feel what they're feeling, you getting dumped, you're like, you're an asshole. I'm the victim. This sucks the most for me. But if you could jump inside my brain and my heart right now and feel that I am like, literally, I'm agonizing over how much I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it, but I do believe this is best for both. And you could actually feel and understand that. I think you would, breakups and the whole world would be a better place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I just like send done.
Yeah. And also by that point, normally most people know. You know
it's
what's
not a
wrong.
surprise.
You know,
Yeah.
So I could see a world, which whatever. Well, then that's also the whole point of breakups is like, you are being an asshole. Like, if you're
Learn
breaking
from
up
it,
somebody,
change, whatever.
and like, but like sometimes you got to be an asshole to like do what you got to do. Do you know what I mean?
think also I think like the notion of like a soulmate or the one or thinking your next relationship is your last because you're going to get married is like a very harmful way to go about it. If you went about relationships the way you went about like, I don't know, something much more casual in your life where it's like, I do this sometimes, I do this other times, like it comes, it goes, it's up, it's down, no big deal, you know?
Yeah.
I think we'd be better off. It's like dating is just something you do, and sometimes you do it for a week, sometimes you do it for a year, sometimes you do it for 5 years, sometimes you get married and break up. But like all these things are just kind of like, it comes and it goes. I think people would be in a better spot, but I think they convince themselves that it has to be this person or they have to change this person or work on it. Like I kind of think, like sometimes I think if you're going to couples therapy, you should just break up.
Yeah.
You know, if you have kids and extenuating circumstances and you really need to make it work, or you're doing it like proactively where it's like, there's a couple issues and we'd like to work on it before they become a big thing.
Yeah.
That's great. But once it's like, I need a mediator to try to work through the affair, the lies, you lost your job, you're an addict, you're dangerous, you're abusive, all these like, just be done.
Yeah.
It's like you're just forcing a square peg in a round hole that's going to ruin your fucking life.
I actually always think about I got sent this multiple times because it's this train part, I guess, called a Janny, like a Janny whatever. I forget what it's called. But essentially it's saying like the only reason, like the reason that it's able to be so secure is because it's like, you know, I don't know how to at all describe it, but it's like basically attaching two cars, the thing that attaches two cars.
Okay.
And because it's so loose in grip with each other, like that's why it's so
strong.
secure.
That's cool.
And I think about that like with relationships is like, if you believe this is my soulmate, he balances me out in the exact perfect way, like we are yin and yang, then that's gripping too tight. And that's like the second
a little
that
bit
they
of fluidity.
deviate one way. Whereas if you're just kind of like, I don't know, like I see, like there's certain things that like I'm sure we don't agree on, but like nobody said we were perfect for each other. I'm happy.
That's a great, it's like you need to be able to bend but don't break.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Because if you expect someone to just stay on this track the whole time, and if they just go a little off, you like freak out.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And that, that you have to basically put guardrails on literally and figuratively how far you can go one way or the other. There has to be some general understanding. But yeah, like, when and I hear about like people who like, usually it's women to men. It's like, I changed like your wardrobe and I changed like, you don't hang out with the same friends anymore and all that. It's like, you don't love that person. You love the person you're like molding and creating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, I think people just put too much weight in relationships in a way. It's like you let it like define whether you're a success or a failure, whether define whether you're happy or sad. And it's kind of like, I think of it more of as like work. It's like some people have a job that they like really love, but for the most part, it's like something you just do and you have to make some money, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but like you find your happiness in other ways,
Yeah.
I think it should just be like one of the ways you're finding happiness.
Yeah.
But it becomes for a lot of people like the only thing, the way, the biggest and most important and only way to be happy. And it's like, well, you're putting all your eggs in that basket, and it's going to evolve, and it's going to change, and then what?
Yeah.
I like that, though. Keep the train on the track by letting it like wobble a little bit.
Exactly.
You know,
It's
you
just
need
like,
some wiggle room.
That's what I feel like opposites attract, because it's like, well, this shouldn't even work out. So it's kind of just a bonus when it does work out. But
I mean, the idea too, like I think if you believe in like an actual soulmate or something, you're fucking like there's 8 billion people in the world, and you stumbled into this person who you believe is like karmically attached to you.
Yeah.
Not just that you lived in the same town and went to the same high school.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, or, you know, we work together and you fit what I like physically and you're tolerable. Like, that's really what it comes, you know.
Yeah.
It's like the thought that, you know, you have a soulmate and that you happen to find it. It's like, what if your soulmate lives in Australia? You're never going to see that person.
Yeah.
I think that shit is so silly.
No, I agree. I think that it's like, for some reason, Love Island made me rethink this, just because you could see the chemistry between two people. Like, it would be two really hot people talking to each other, but you could just see it just like wasn't working out.
Yeah.
And there's just different levels of chemistry with people that.
Well, Love Island's kind of the perfect example of the extremes. Like, I remember when Jeremiah and Hodo were like fighting, and I was like, these people have known each other for like 5 days.
Yeah.
And they're like ruining their lives over each other rather than just being like, peace.
Yeah.
What is it? I guess that's an ego thing. Or, I mean, I'm sure there's a million reasons why somebody is like, I'm staking my claim. It has to be this person, and I have to convince them to like be with me or stay with me or whatever.
Yeah.
Rather than just being like, all right, didn't work out.
Cool.
That's why I'm telling you, if you simplified the breakup, I think the amount of people who stay in relationships because they can't go through the breakup I bet you it's very, very high.
Oh, totally.
Like, I think about the divorce rate. I think, you know, people say it's like 56% or whatever.
Yeah.
There's probably another like 30% that wants to be divorced and is too afraid to do it or can't do it, or religiously or family-wise or whatever, can't do it. So it's like, I think there's like 15% of people are happily married.
I think
the rest are either not married or want to be not married.
Yeah. I saw like an article or something that was saying that people, like, you shouldn't move in together until after marriage, because if it's before marriage and before you've like made the final decision, like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, now you're financially attached already. And like now you have too much at stake, where so many people are like, it's so much harder to break up with the other person because of the whole apartment living together situation. Rather than like,
so their thought is like, stay independent because there's less stuff to get complicated.
Yeah, like make
if
the
it does.
decision to spend the rest of your life with the person without any financial
that
stake.
I can understand. I don't know. I think I have to live with somebody before I marry them.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to live with somebody, have sex with somebody, and maybe that's really it that like you have to do first.
Fight with somebody.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I think that you need to know like how
they fight.
Yeah.
But what if you just like have a really good couple years where you're not like, you meet someone, you're not fighting, and it's like, should you pick a fight? Should you wait for a fight? You know what I mean?
You're like, I don't like your hair today.
Yeah. Are you gonna like hit me if I say that?
Yeah.
I gotta know. Yeah, that's a good one that I think most people it'll just happen naturally. But if you were to like not end up fighting with someone, do you have to like hold off?
No, then I guess like that's good. That's really good.
It's just super, probably not gonna happen and pretty rare and idealistic. But like if you move in with someone and you are like, wait a minute, you eat this way, sleep this way, talk this way, act this way, like none of it's compatible, like you can't marry that person.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like at that point you've probably gone enough. Maybe not. But you've probably
I don't
gone
think
enough
you
trips
know.
where you would know.
I think a big problem with like a lot of, my opinion of divorce at least, is like everything else in life you get to like do and practice and try and fail. And then marriage and kids, there's none of that. You're expected to marry and stay married, and you're expected to like have a kid and like know what you're doing.
Yeah.
everything else in life, you like, it was my first job and I like fucked it up. That was my starter house. That was my first attempt, whatever. And you like learn from your mistakes. And the idea is, okay, that's why you date. And that's why you do move in with someone first. Or that's why, you know, you basically do everything except like the ring and marriage, because then you basically get like a preview of it. I think that like 90% of the time does work. You know, it's like if you're living with someone day to day, all the time, sharing everything, you're basically married. Hopefully when you propose and you move in and you live, you know, you're married, it stays the same. But I think, you know, you just don't know. You only know that person as your boyfriend or girlfriend. Like you think you know them as your wife or husband until you don't. Like I feel like I've seen enough, heard enough, and lived enough where it's like the ring changed things. Having a baby changed things. Moving to the burbs changed things. Where it's like, wait a minute, this is
interesting.
You know, and so that's why I think the bigger, more like important thing is to find somebody that you know you can evolve with. Mm-hmm. But that is a hard thing to. It's like it's easy to identify someone like we have the same sense of humor. We like the same entertainment. We like to go out or not go out. We like music. We like these things that we do, and we enjoy each other's company. We like the sex is great. All that, you know, you can live that and experience that and know I like this. And I think most people do that, and they're like, I hope it doesn't change, you know?
Yeah.
But when it does change, then what? And I think it's hard to like identify in a person when things go differently. You'll still be somebody I like, you know?
Yeah.
If you meet somebody and you have a bunch of money, it's like, would they still love you and be cool with you if you didn't have money? You can like feel that out and get a gauge for it, but you don't know until you know. You know what I mean? And like, I think you're the person that I want to have kids with. But when the day comes and you're pregnant and irritable and you're fighting and it's like, well, wait, I didn't know that was going to happen, you know, whatever. I think trying to identify like, you're really down with me.
Yeah.
And like, we will figure it out together no matter what is the most important thing. It's just also the hardest thing to learn and identify, you know?
Yeah. I think a big thing for me is because I'm such a people pleaser. And like, I have such like a fear of being a burden where
I am with you, by the way, on that. Like, not burdening other people drives like 100% of my daily decisions.
Exactly. And so I think about that, like the thought of marriage and kids scares me a lot because I think the thought of having a kid to me feels, and this is a bad way to think, but I already have the fear that it's going to be a burden on my husband. And that I'm going to be like, no, it's fine. You don't have to like do anything. Like I got it all.
I'll take care of it all, yeah.
I'll take care of it all. So like I never was attracted to the bad boy because I was just like picturing my life down the road and being like, somebody, like I need somebody who's just like not going to make me feel like a burden.
Yeah.
And who wants to do the things rather than like a bad boy. Like I'd be like, oh no, like I don't like I got it.
You
all.
do whatever the fuck
I
you
would
want,
like want to please like him as much as possible. Whereas somebody like the most important factor that I look for is, are you like gonna be happy? Like, am I gonna? I don't know. I'm not explaining it well.
No, but I mean that the people pleasing thing is a very good short term strategy and a horrible long-term strategy.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like in my experience, there was so many things that I bit my tongue on in this for the sake of like, I don't want to fight. I want you to be happy. Mm-hmm. I'll change, give in, whatever, you know? And in the short term that worked, but it all piles up, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to say like, if I don't speak up for myself now or establish that I want this to be different or tell you that this is the way I do things, whatever it is. Like in the short term, that's going to cause a fight and maybe even a breakup. But then you probably should break up with that person. It's when you tell them that and they don't break up and they are cool with it, that it's like, okay, now you've learned a little bit that this is a person you can evolve with and grow with, you know?
Yeah.
And I learned that it's actually bad and immature to do what I do. You know what I mean? It's sort of like love bombing. The same thing as love bombing. It's like it took me a while to realize that I was like probably a love bomber. I don't think anything like crazy and extreme, but when I first met somebody and I liked them, I would go all in. You know,
That's
I'm
how you
like,
really felt. Yeah.
and I'm like being cute, and we're texting and talking all the time, and dates and sex and fun and attention, all that shit. In my mind, I was like, this is a good thing. I'm like, that's what she wants. I'm being a good guy. I'm being a nice guy. I'm being a good boyfriend, whatever it is. But you realize you're just kind of like establishing some expectations and some boundaries and some like ground rules that if you can keep that up, then like great, you know what I mean? But when things like change a little bit, you have to kind of be prepared for that person to be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you so different right now? And it's like, oh yeah, like I learned that that's, you know, actually detrimental to somebody.
Yeah.
And not just like I'm being really nice and they need to figure out. It's like, no, be nice, but don't establish like unrealistic standards for your relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the same thing, like people pleasing, where you're not picking fights or not like speaking your mind, is rooted in the idea of like, I'm doing this for this person, but actually you're doing a lot of damage to that person because it's
going to come out at some point.
Right.
And it's going to come out in like a way that blindsides them.
Right. And like I mean, I did it in the worst way of like, if you do it in a relationship, fine, whatever, like not great, but it happens. Once you're doing it with marriage, you're doing it with families and kids, it's like, you know, you really have to take that seriously in the beginning, because even things that you think are maybe good or right are actually maybe wrong, or at the very least, like you're gonna make it difficult down the road. You know?
Totally.
But it's hard. You have to be like a little bit selfish in life. Like, sometimes being selfish is actually better and that's something that like a manipulative, like narcissistic person would say and use that like to their advantage. But there is truth in that. Like, if you're not a piece of shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're just being like, I'm not being selfish, I'm being like honest, and it's like, no, you're being a selfish asshole, you know?
Yeah.
But there are times where like honesty is absolutely necessary, and it's gonna hurt this person, and you have to do it because, you know, you have to figure out whether you're gonna last or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that idea of like, you know, you gotta know exactly what you're doing when you go into marriage, because it's supposed to be forever, is kind of like, I don't know. That's why when people get married early, like you just can't possibly know. You're like 23, 24, or whatever, you know? Jackpocket is America's #1 lottery app, the best app, and I believe the only app to sell official state-sponsored lottery tickets. I'm going to open up the app right here and see what we're working with. We just wrapped up with that nearly $2 billion Mega Millions Powerball jackpot. And now we're on our way to building it back up. So what are we at right now? Powerball is a paltry $127 million, but Mega Millions is getting up there. We're almost at $500 million for Mega Millions. They also have the regular smaller ones, Take 5, Win 4, Numbers Day. If you're in certain states, you can do the scratch-offs where you can just do like a little touchscreen scratch and get your satisfaction that way. All available right here on your phone. All you got to do, I'll actually buy a ticket right now to show you how easy it goes. Let me go to Mega Millions. I'm going to click order. I'm going to go $5 quick pick. I slide to order, and that's it. I got myself $5 worth of Mega Millions in 5 seconds. So right now, if you want to get $5 in free lottery credits, you can sign up for Jackpocket and use promo code KFC2. You click opt-in to redeem it when you sign up and buy a ticket. $5 in free lottery credits. So that's a couple dollars. It's like $2 for a Powerball ticket. So you can get 2 free Powerball tickets, or you can put $5 into any of the games you want, all for free when you use promo code KFC2 when you download Jackpocket today. That's Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. Jackpocket. The whole idea in general of like, you're with this person forever. It's like, you know, you're going to change drastically over the course of 50 years.
Yeah.
How do you know that person is going to be cool with the new you, and you're going to be cool with the new them? And I mean, that's, again, you have to figure out the person that you can grow with. But it's hard. That's fucking hard.
Yeah.
Everything else you're allowed to like do and fail and fuck up. I got fired. I blew my dream job. Whatever. And people are just like, that's how it goes. But you do that with marriage or something, and it's like
that's a good.
Worst,
that's a really good point.
And then parenting, forget about. Parenting is like everything in the world. You need a license, you need training, you need a degree, you need understanding. You could be the most like immature failure of a person, can't provide, don't know what you're doing. You could pop out a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't like police it. Then you can't tell people when they can and can't have kids. All of a sudden you're like China. But it does feel like there should be like, well, you can't do it yet.
And there's
a whole swath of the population. You shouldn't be doing this at all. You shouldn't be doing it yet. Like
you're like a driver's license type thing.
Yeah,
like
for real.
And they're so impressionable at such a young age when you're trying to figure everything out.
It's like that's when I'm stumbling through it is when you need me the most.
Yeah.
It's like grandparents should almost. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
I have the kid, you raise it, then I'll raise their kids. Like
I'll pick it up after, 18.
Yeah.
Or I guess like,
well, what's
7
like
is the
having a nanny is like, it's her job. My nanny like takes it serious like a job, and I always say to her, I'm always kind of like, you're a saint. You know what I mean? She's like, but I get to go home at the end of the day. So like, I take on this burden as my job. I get paid for it. I take it seriously. I work hard, and it's stressful. But it is my job that I go home at the end of the night and I don't have to worry about it. Whereas you have to pick up the other side of things and so that kind of made me realize, but it's like, yeah, I think sometimes other influences in their life are doing like the real raising. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be like, I got to provide for you. It's hard to also be the one that's there every moment. And, it's like, got to wear many, many different hats. It's not fucking easy.
I've thought about what you said about like, no, when you want to have like serious conversations with your kids, but you're just like, I don't want to.
I mean, how many times have you pushed off a serious conversation with anybody, right?
So many.
And now I can do that with an 8-year-old. I can push that off. You know what I mean? It's hard enough to do it. It's easy enough to do it with like an adult where you're just like, oh, we'll do that later. It's like when it's a kid where you decide literally what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. It's so easy to just push it off,
You know what a fun fact that I learned the other day is, so when you're up until 7 years old, something about like your brain, that's when you're most impressionable.
Okay.
And when you like absorb the most and it like builds your foundation. Right before you go to it's like the theta brainwave. I'm not explaining it well, but the theta brain something state. Right before you go to bed and right when you wake up, your brain is in that theta state.
Okay, wait, what is the theta state? Is when you're...
It's just when you're most impressionable.
Okay,
most
got
impressionable
it.
And like everything, it's like the subconscious is kind of building.
So at 7, your theta is like the most impressionable. But then even as an adult, mornings and night is when your theta is impressionable.
Like right before you fall asleep. So like if you say stuff like to yourself, like if you're just like, I am really good at basketball. I'm really good at basketball. I'm really good at basketball. Like right before you're falling asleep and right when you wake
yourself into thinking that.
Yeah, like then it kind of is that's when your brain's the most malleable. If you want to like
that makes sense. I think that makes sense. I feel like my night times are and mornings. So maybe this makes sense. Like I used to wake up in like the middle of the night in like a panic, and I was trying to tell myself, I'm like, is that my honest brain talking, or is that like I'm just having a nightmare and you don't need to worry about that? You know what I mean? Like is and I think you usually know the answer is like, I think this is my honest brain talking and I need to fix this problem. But it's nice to be like, oh no, that was just me, like, at my most irrational. It's like, no, this is when you're really feeling it and thinking it, so you gotta address it. That makes sense to me. Did you see McConaughey's new latest thing? He went on The View and he said the key to his marriage is that he downsized his bed. Oh. He said no bigger than a queen size bed.
Wow.
And there's I think a couple reasons behind that, but the main one, and this makes total sense, is you don't have your kids in bed with you.
Yeah.
People who have a king size bed, their kids sleep with them. They sleep with them too long. They're in bed way too old, and then it's just a burden on you and your relationship and all that, which that part makes total sense, because I think your bed is like your home. Like I think at night if you can't like crawl into your bed and be like at peace, I don't think you'll have peace in your life. I think that will permeate through like everything in your life. Yeah. And I think so the idea of like, if you have a smaller bed, your kids can't just jump in there with you. They don't want to sleep in there with you. and you, first of all, if you have like kids in your bed constantly, you're not going to have sex, and that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And then, but beyond that, it's like, I want to be comfortable. I want to be cozy.
Yeah.
I want to relax. And that's, I think, when you like have conversations with your person, like, you know, like late at night, like, what's on your mind? Tell me. And you like get it out, or you, you know, have that conversation. You can't do that if you have kids running around, or you're reading your book, or you're on your phone, or you put on your white noise, or you put on the TV, or whatever it is. Like, you're in bed and it's good.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if you make your bed situation bad, I think it like will fuck up everything.
They say like don't work in bed, don't eat in bed, because it's if you just want to associate it with
like relaxing.
bed, relaxing sleep.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that. I mean, the kid thing is interesting. It's like,
did you ever do that?
Oh yeah. Like I think what he's talking about and what I'm talking about here is like when you have like a 12-year-old in bed with you all the time. It's like this is fucking weird. There's a problem. You know. When you're in like the thick of it, when my kids weren't sleeping, and like the only way I could get a couple hours of shut eye is like just fucking come in bed. You know, I would like, you go in there, you feed them, you rock them, you rub them, you sing to them. Hopefully that works. After a little while, if that doesn't work, we're going to bed. You know, that's just survival mode. I also like, my kids are 10 and 8. They sleep in their own bed, but every now and then it's like it's almost like a sleepover. It's like going to camp, you know, like, can I sleep in your bed? It's like, yeah, fine. And usually I let them do that. They're so fucking big now that I tell them we're doing that, and then I just like sleeping on the couch, you know? Yeah. But they get excited for it, you know? It's the problem is when it's like almost a functioning adult being like, okay, let's go to bed. And they hop in with you. It's like, that is going to affect a lot of things. So I agree with that. The other side of it though is, I think the opposite. Like, I think when it comes to actually sleeping, you should have separate fucking beds. Yeah. Like separate fucking rooms. Yeah. Like, I am all for, I used to preach separate beds and separate dinner. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And then I ended up divorced. So what do I know? But I do believe that, like, eating food and sleeping are like bodily functions that you need to take care of for yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've been in relationships where it's like, what are we eating for dinner? And it's like, for some reason we have to eat at the same time and eat the same thing. And it's like, what if I'm not hungry? And what if I don't like this thing? You know, we could order from 2 different places where you cook yourself some chicken. I'm going to make myself a burger, and I'm not hungry right now, so I'll eat in an hour. Like, I don't think that's crazy. Yeah. You know, I do understand the importance of like eating to like sharing a meal, like all that. So like you do need to do those things, but I just don't think you need to like,
no, I totally
force it or whatever. You know what I mean? Or even like, I'm not hungry, you are, but I'll like sit with you while you eat and we can talk, like almost have like a dinner table discussion. I'm just not going to eat. Yeah. You know, that's why I also hate when you're on like a date and it's like, oh, that's all you're eating. Like, I'm going to feel like self-conscious about what I'm eating. It's like, I don't know. I'm not as hungry as you are. Yeah. Like, yeah. You're hungry. I'm not. Like, that shouldn't be a point of stress or contention, you know? Yeah. And kind of the same thing with sleeping is like, if you like it a certain temperature, you like the bed a certain way. I like firm. You like soft. I like hot. You like cold. I want a lot of pillows. You want no pillows. Like, go to bed together, snuggle, fuck, hang out, talk. And then it's like, okay, it's time to now go to sleep. I'm going to my bed. Or at least like, I'm going to the other side of a king-size bed. Not like we live in a fucking queen or a full and we're like touching each other still, you know? There
should be like some kind of bed that splits off. Like senses when you fall asleep and then splits off.
Or like a partition, like shoom, like a wall comes up or something. Yeah. And then in the morning, shoom, goes down. Good morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I have since learned the importance of like, if you start eating dinner alone all the time, you start going to bed separately, bad news. Yeah. Bad news. Not done, but it's just like you should take a look at, is that because you guys are just like very chill and you can do their own thing, or is it like, I'm going to bed separately because I don't want to talk, like I don't want to be around you. You know what I mean? Those are two different things. But I have since learned that you know, my crusade of separate beds and separate dinners comes with a little bit of a caveat where other things have to be in place and good. But I do find it funny that it's like, these are literally just like things your body needs to do. Yeah. At different times and different from different people. We don't have to do them together. Yeah. So, but that's all the stuff you like have to try to learn. That's why I think you have to live with somebody. It's
that's a good point.
If we are gonna eat together all the time and sleep together all the time, that's like how our relationships, at least like in this world, work. then you got to know how that person sleeps and eats and all those things.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the show on Hulu, the Virgin Show? It's
No.
called, what's it called? Do you know the name of it? Yeah, it's like, it's not Are You the One, because that's a different show, but it's like, Are You My First, or something like that. And it's like 20 virgins all on a show together.
Yeah.
And they all have their different reasons. One girl was like medical. Like there's a hot chick who's like, has some sort of, I don't want to say disease, but like a situation where like anything entering her vagina hurts her. She's like, I can't use tampons. I can't, like, I don't know what it is. But so she's like, the thought of like sex is like, scares me. So then I think there's a guy who's just like, I just haven't gotten laid. You know, they're all different variations of why they're virgins. I can't imagine. I just can't imagine being, if you don't have a medical problem and you can get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would take a disaster of a situation for you to not be able to get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just like don't do it for religious reasons or whatever. Like I just can't imagine that. That to me is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then especially getting in a relationship with someone, be like, what if, we got married, we lived separately, didn't have sex, we got married, we move in together, our living styles completely clash, and like you're terrible in bed. Now what?
Yeah.
Now what the fuck do you do?
Yeah. I think about that. I think like Wait, sorry, I missed the first part though. Is this a show that's
So there's a show. It's Are You My First? Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And I only watched like the first episode or two, so I didn't really get into like what like the challenges are or how the voting works or any of that. But I do know I saw one girl on a podcast that the guy she linked up with just fucking lied. And I was like, that was my first question. It's like, these guys are lying, you know, like, especially if you think that this is going to be the next Love Island and you could become famous or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, all I got to do to get on the show. Because I can't imagine the applicant pool was that big.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, we have adult virgins they're all
want to be known as
want to be known as that. And they're all like mostly conventionally attractive.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure you could go find a lot of virgins who are horribly overweight or deformed or something terrible like that.
Yeah.
These are like normal people, hot girls, attract like guys who like of high enough value that women would want them, you know?
Yeah.
And they all were like, no, we just never had sex.
Yeah.
I don't think I believe any of them. I don't think I believe any of them.
I feel like for me, I don't have any interest in having sex until I am actively, like I need to be like it's like an engine where I need to be consistently having sex to have like normal like hormone levels. But if not, I could go long periods of time like not having sex. And like even like I think in high school it was more like a stigma thing, losing my virginity.
I'm sure. Yeah. That's where I think the experience for guys and girls is like wildly different too, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's when girls are like, I love sex like just as much as a guy. I'm like, sure, there are cases where that's the case. But like in general, I think there's a pretty big disconnect there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think a girl, if she's not comfortable having sex with someone or doesn't want to or whatever, can just like stop and it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy, even if like you don't like, if you're not having sex, you're trying to change that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You might not succeed and you might be like, oh my God, it's been a year, but not for lack of trying, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas a girl, I think in certain situations, you're like, I'm good. I don't need this. And I think there's a big difference. Like that's another thing. If guys and girls could walk a mile in each other's shoes where it's like sex dynamics and cheating and monogamy and relationship behavior and all that, it's like, I think if I could understand how you view sex and you could understand how I view sex, like we would be on the same page a lot more.
I think when I'm on my period, I am like, oh, this must be what it feels like to be got. Like it's on top of mind a lot more.
Yeah. And if that was every single day of your life, and then you factor in things like the stigma of like, if you're not having sex, you're not cool. You're not of value. You know what I mean? Then so there's a lot of pressure and weird shit that goes on with guys, especially at their impressionable age. But my favorite story, I don't even know if it's real or not, but there's like an internet thing that goes viral every now and then. There's a girl who transitioned to a guy and took hormones and testosterone and changed her appearance and lived like a guy and went back. She was like, this is fucking terrible. Like, she was like, I don't know how you guys do it. Like, you're walking around with a loaded gun. Your brain is all fucked up. Testosterone is raging. People don't treat you this way. They expect this from you. Like, at all. She got to like walk a mile on the other half and she was like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's, dramatic. And I know, like, at the end of the day, there is like no better position than to be, an American white male. Like, you got so many doors open and so much opportunity and all that shit's true. But also, if you, jumped inside this house of horrors for a little bit, I think you'd understand, like, oh, that's why he did that or said that or believes that or acts like that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where I think a lot of differences inherently come from. It's just very hard to, especially once you live for a while, if you're not constantly putting yourself in positions to like learn more or be challenged or whatever, you just like fall into your way of life. And I think you expect everyone else to kind of feel that way too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you just expect, like, if a woman just like, I expect this guy to like treat me this way and be this and be that, and when he's not, like, you can't wrap your head around why not. But it's like, if you were to see things from their point of view, you would get it. You know? Kind of that's like, I guess that's kind of the theme of the whole episode, to go back to politics and all that. Is like, you have to really try to see things from the other side, not just like say it, like do it and like get it.
Yeah, like a trust that the person has their like emotional connection to their
Right. So
that is kind of the theme of the episode,
I mean, the I don't know if the queen size bed is the answer, but it's I understand that notion of like, what he's talking about there.
Yeah, that's the queen size bed thing. That makes sense.
I get it for the kids. The rest of it, give me a double California king.
Fluffy pillows.
I said, I'll be on the east side. You're on the west side. Like, how you doing over there? Are you good? All right, I'm going to sleep. A couple other things before we wrap up here. We'll do a little Barstool, a little around the horn Barstool style. Did you see the clip of, it was Rico, Chief, and Eddie with Mr. Portnoy?
Yeah, wait.
Mr. Portnoy, Mike Portnoy, cousin Mike, has said a lot of things over the years. A lot of silly takes, crazy takes, whatever you want to call it. This might be the most bonkers. First of all, he said that he has not used his George Foreman grill since George Foreman died.
Okay.
And he said that as if like everybody would have like retired their George Foreman grill.
Okay.
Because the inventor and the spokesman of it died. Which I don't quite get that. Like, imagine if you were just like, like Steve Jobs died.
Done.
I don't use my iPhone. Steve Jobs is dead. I can't do that anymore.
Sorry, is it out of respect for George Foreman?
I think so. I only saw the clip, so I didn't get like the whole. But he was sort of just like, I haven't used it since he died, and the guys were like, should I stop using mine too? And he was sort of like, yeah, he's dead now, as if that was a totally normal thing. And then he said, he doesn't use his George Foreman grill. Oh, and that he was just like, I thought George Foreman was never gonna die. Like, what? I kind of get what he's saying. He's like, I just thought he was indestructible and like so like strong that I can't believe he died. But the first statement was sort of like, I never thought that man was gonna die. Everybody dies, bro. It was a truly great clip that I feel like, obviously Mike Portnoy is very inside the Barstool bubble. So I think Barstool fans are going to see that and love that. But that, I was like, this almost should be like viral, where it's like, this man retired his George Foreman grill because George Foreman died. Is one of my favorite.
Think that George Foreman was going to die?
Just an all time. What a character that man is. He's one of my favorite.
Don't alligators like not die? I'm pretty sure they don't. They just get so hungry that
I've heard that. I've heard that like. No, it's an alligator or like a rabbit or some fucking animal is like none of them have died from natural causes.
Yeah,
they always.
It's always just like from being too hungry.
I'm just gonna do alligators don't die. Let's see what happens.
Okay, wait, hold on.
The statement alligators don't die is a myth. No fucking kidding. But let's see. Some alligators have reached 100 years old. I don't know if I believe that. But yeah, that is the thought is that alligators and crocodiles don't die of old age. but it's injuries or diseases or starvation. But I mean, like, that's, you could say that about like the vast majority of humans too. It's like, oh, you died of cancer. That's dying of old age, basically.
Yeah.
Like, how many people truly are like, I'm 90 years old, I went to bed and I just didn't wake up because my body stopped.
Okay.
That's pretty fucking rare. Right? I think.
Yeah, I think that you actually have a good point on that. What I had heard, the alligator rumor I had heard was, and I guess that this isn't right, but like they eat so much and then they just they're like stretch their stomachs and then they continue to get hungry and hungrier and hungrier until they just like can't find enough food to like satisfy them, so they just end up starving themselves and dying.
You know who that's going to happen to? John Feitelberg.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, that's so
Feitelberg's sleep eating to the point that he is raising his like body's like eating habits to a level he can't keep up with.
Sucking on brownies.
Sucking on brownies is crazy work. The amount of people reached out to me being like, that clip is fucking crazy.
It might be one of my new favorite clips. Like,
just deep throating a frozen brownie, just licking it.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Also at the Barstool World, last week, Ella made waves when she said that she spent $70,000 her like senior year of college because she had her parents' credit card and we're just putting like tables and bottles on it. Can't knock the hustle, man.
Can't not no, and
like,
she's like, sorry, I'm known
I'm
for
Ella,
like,
bro.
Yeah, she's the best.
I also like, I mean, shout out to Papa Ella, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Because he apparently has done well.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking like I've done pretty well for myself. Like if I found out that Shay dropped $70,000, like I would be like livid, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just like, please don't do that, honey. Or if it was like, I'm going to rip your fucking head off, you know? But that is a wild one. I mean, $70,000, like if you're dropping like $10,000 in college, you're like a billionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you're like, yo, tables on me and like all that, I'd be like, you must be the richest person alive.
Again, 4 girls, so it's like he's doing that. They all have credit cards. They all.
Oh
he said,
my god,
like,
I didn't know that part of it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
4 daughters. God bless that guy.
Yeah, he might be the richest man.
He better be.
Yeah.
He's either the richest or the poorest.
Yeah.
I don't know. If all 4 of them are spending $70,000 a year on just partying, I don't know if there's enough money in the world. It's like alligators. They're like alligators.
Yeah.
They just keep consuming until you can't provide for them anymore. It's like, I don't have enough money to give you what you want, Ella, because you're an alligator with a stomach expanding.
Wait, so but 70. Let me think about this though. So it's 9 months you're in school, right? $70,000. I was trying to figure out how much.
Don't try to justify this. That's like $8,000 a month.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Does that include like rent?
No, I don't know. I took that as she was saying like when the friend group was down and bored and like not going out, I would be like, let's go to the club, table on me to like rally the troops.
Yeah,
I don't think that was like it's my meal plan and my rent and stuff. I think that was like strictly partying. I think she had like an emergency credit card and then she was just using it for partying and not emergencies, which is a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got or maybe like I feel like I could have like $1 billion, and if I found out like my kid was just spending $70,000 on partying, that I would be like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah,
it's not really about the money.
Yeah.
Oh, I pulled a move last night with money. So the Mets are like killing me, right? And last night,
when are they not?
What?
Actually, I said last year. Actually, not. I said when are they not?
This year, yeah. But this year specifically is like particularly stressful. They're about to blow it. Last night, like off the rip, they're down 5-1. And I was just beside myself. I was like, I can't believe how much this is affecting me. Like, it's really, really affecting me. I'm like in a bad place.
Yeah.
Because it's not just like it's the Mets, but then it just like triggers everything. It's like a floodgate that then I just start thinking about all my problems. And I start fighting with people and like all that. Like I'm like absolutely off of Twitter. Like truly, really mean it this time where I was like, I'm just never going back. There's just nothing but bad there, you know?
Yeah.
So all these things were like affecting me. So I was down. And I decided I'm going to pay a bunch of my bills right now.
Oh.
Things that I've been putting off, things that I needed to pay were past due because I just like didn't want to do it, couldn't bring myself to do it. So I was like, all right, the Mets are losing. I'm spiraling. Let's go all bad. Let's pay all the bills. Because either I'm already in a bad mood tonight.
Yeah.
I might as well just like get this out of the way when I'm already feeling bad.
Great logic.
So last night I paid $50,000 worth of bills. I had to pay taxes
Yeah.
on my house and like property. I had to pay off the remainder of the tree removal company, which I had been putting off like quite a bit. That was a long time ago now. I had to pay Shay's dance bill, which, by the way, her dance is like $10,000.
What?
It's like, it's fucking insane.
Kids, yeah.
Add all that up, and it was like $50,000. And I'm still like, I made my money with Barstool, but it's still like just new to me. You know what I mean? So like, again, like I just said, if I had $1 billion, I still would be like, hey, you can't spend $70,000 partying. Like dropping $50,000, just be like, here's the bills.
Yeah.
It's still something I'm not really.
Especially on bills, it's like seeing
There's no
benefit.
value
There's
out of this. Yeah, it's like taxes and a tree that I didn't even. And the thing with Shay is like, there's value out of that. Like, I think it's insane how much her dance costs, but like, I would never want to be like, you can't do that because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Just having a great time, whatever. Mets came back and won. Didn't care about my bills anymore. My plan worked.
That's brilliant.
Brilliant. It was either like, I'm gonna be pissed, so just be pissed and like sit in it and wallow in it, or I was like, and I really never even considered they were gonna come back and win. They win 9-7, big home run at the end. I'm cheering, I'm excited, I'm texting the boys, we're happy. Doesn't even matter they lost $50,000 last night.
Wow.
Did I
maybe
just hack the system?
Maybe it's because once you paid off all the bills, you as a fan had so much, a weight was lifted off your shoulder.
That there is a part of that.
The fan base can feel that. The team can feel that.
Okay. So you think that actually I might have, maybe the win was on me.
The win might have been on you.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was more, there is a like, there's some bills that I've been putting off and like getting rid of it, paying off your credit card. Like there is a weight, off your shoulders. Whether or not that actually impacts my favorite baseball team. I mean, last night there was a good piece of evidence that it does.
Evidence would prove that it does.
That might be my new system.
Yeah. You just keep paying off bills for no reason.
Okay, and then the last thing from the Barstool world was the Big T contract situation, where it pretty much boils down to, there's some nuance to it, but more or less, Big T said to Dave Portnoy, if Nicky Smokes and Mintzy make XYZ, I should make at least that, or I should make more than that, or whatever his exact argument was. He then went on, so it was an unnamed person. Dave put it out there anonymously. Big T owned up to it and said, it was me. And then he went on to explain the further story of, he asked Dave, can we talk about my contract? And Dave said, no, I don't have time right now. And that's when Big T should have just shut it down. But in an effort to try to like do it quickly and expedite it, he was like, okay, it'll only take 2 minutes. If these guys make this much, I should make that much too. And that's his reasoning for it, at least. This is not a good idea. I would recommend against this in almost any situation, but like certainly here, it's just you can't compare yourself to other people really, unless there's like a direct like correlation. I can understand using that as like a negotiating tactic, or like you're just asking for clarity, or what's my role, or we do the same exact thing sort of thing. But like at Barstool, can you quantify Mintzy's value that every like 6 months he's going to do something so boneheaded that it creates like a memorable joke storyline, a day worth of content for Dave and all that? Like there's some value in that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to quantify that. It's like you work hard every day and you write blogs and you post this and you do that, and it's all good, but once or twice a year you don't have this moment that everybody latches onto. Yeah. And Mintzy does it unintentionally, but he does it.
He does it.
It's like the time
he gets people talking.
The time that he opened up that present, that bobblehead in front of when he's sitting courtside, and like styrofoam was just going everywhere, and it was like stuck on his face and in his hair. Like he wasn't trying to be funny. Yeah. But it was. Yeah. And the Nicky Smokes thing I don't really get. Nicky Smokes was front and center all summer. Yeah. On one of the biggest shows we did.
He like produces his own stuff.
He like his own content he does like work hard at, and he even said it himself. He's like, I haven't like found success yet. I haven't sold anything yet. Like, so like that still is there, but like he's part of Beach House. He's always in the mix, again, that's almost a little bit unintentional too, because sometimes he's just like, I said something like I was a douchebag, and now Dave is saying I'm a douchebag or whatever it is. But it's like you're making things happen intentionally or unintentionally.
Details like happened because of him.
That one I give him full credit for.
Yeah.
But just there are other times where it's just like he said something young, dumb, stupid, whatever, and it becomes a talking point, and then there's content, and it's like, did he mean to do that, or was that like his content? No, but he inspired that or was a part of that. And same thing. Like Nate is a great example of like he does his work, but then like the Spider Monkey sagas are what like Nate's true memorable moments are.
Yeah.
And there are just different ways that people provide at this company, and it does get a little bit hairy, and it does get a little bit convoluted and hard to understand. Where it's like, so he's just like unintentionally funny, but makes this much, and then I have to like bust my ass. But it's like, I don't know, kind of, yeah. It's the same thing as like sports. It's like that guy does not. I'm first in and last out, and I practice hard, and I do all these little things. It's like, I don't know, that guy's got like a better jump shot than you and can run and jump faster. So you work harder, but he, so there's talent, there's luck, there's unintentional consequences, there's different ways to quantify value. All that shit goes into the mix. And then on top of it, life's not fair. Like you throw all of that. And then also, there's always going to be someone at your work where you go, that fucking guy makes more than me. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's just a universal thing that happens. I do think this is also an example of why like almost everybody needs an agent though. Because if an agent comes to you with comparables, that's just like business. That's negotiation.
Yeah.
Like, here's the market standard. Here's what other employees doing something similar make. This is what he deserves. That's his job. When you do it, you're throwing a coworker under the bus.
Yeah.
You're presuming that the boss, more than the boss.
Yeah.
All that shit. An agent does that, and Dave says, I fucking hate that agent.
Yeah.
That's his gig,
Yeah.
So that's where but I told Gaz this, and I don't think we could do this, or I don't know who would sign up for it or if we're allowed to, but like if there was a show called like contract renegotiation, renegotiating contracts with Dave Portnoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be the most watched thing. If you had watching like Clemmer and Nate and people who come to me and like talk about their contract and like the preparation that goes into that conversation. And then that conversation happening and Dave's reaction and other people's reaction and whether or not you get it in the end would be one of the most watched shows on the internet.
Oh my!
Once people, because I think people are just interested in the inner workings and the mechanisms of Barstool anyway. Once you learned how scared people are, how stressed people are, how much they care and want, and like the arguments they make and the negotiations they bring to the table, like it's all very fascinating. But especially here, it's crazy.
That might be actually, you're so right, the most watched things. And then I could see like confessionals after being like, that didn't go well.
That didn't go well. That'd be so funny. If there was a moment like Rico Bosco, like, I need a 25% raise, and Dave being like, you're getting a pay cut.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to Rico being like, that didn't go well. Like, that would be unbelievable.
And everyone in front of Dave, like, no matter what you think going in, whatever you, like, he's so scary and intimidating that, like, I feel like everyone breaks down. Like, the difference of the confessional before being like, this is my plan, I'm going to say this, and then.
It'd be like those things where it's like, this is me before the party and me after the party.
Exactly.
Like, this is me going into my negotiation. You're like smiling, and afterwards you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But you could also catch Dave, like, on a day where he, like, won a bet and, like, the internet likes him, and he's like, yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to... Now, if he was doing content around it, that's the other part, is he would make content out of it, so you would never get an easy negotiation because he'd always be... But I'm telling you, that's a
like Shark
billion
Tank,
dollar... Yeah, it's like Shark Tank, but for your human value. It's like, sharks!
In your family.
How about you give me $500,000 for like 50% of me as a human?
Yeah. You almost need like a Barbara Walters, I guess, or whoever is the nicer one of this. Like, you need Dave, but then you need
a good cop, bad cop.
Yeah,
that's part of the dynamic, is that like how many places have like the CEO owner handle like every negotiation like that? Like, you sign off on some things, but to be like, you got to go to the table. If you were at Apple, you had to go to Steve Jobs. If you're at JP Morgan, you're talking to Jamie Dimon. You know, you're going to like major. Not many people have to do that. So, it is a fascinating little wrinkle within the Barstool world. Now I'm interested, like, what happens with Big T? Like, did he get his ask? By doing this, he just created value. Like,
it was almost like a Mintzy.
He mincied himself.
Yeah.
So maybe now you deserve mincing money because you just mincied yourself. Yeah. This place, there's always like a leak. People always know everybody's salaries.
Yeah.
Like there's one person upstairs who tells somebody in content, and then that person goes. I mean, people used to know everybody's numbers, and hey, if she's making that, how come he makes that, and vice.
Really?
Oh, at
Do
least
you
for a
know
little
them
while.
now?
I'm pretty like checked out, but I guarantee you, some of the gossip queens out there for sure know it. I think during the Penn years, it was very like, I'm negotiating with Penn.
Yeah.
Some people were like throwing out their numbers, and like I think it was a little easier to talk when it wasn't like you talked directly to Dave or like you felt it was more of a secret,
Yeah.
And I think some of those numbers were like inflated because Penn was in growth mode and they were just like throwing out. One of my biggest like regrets is I signed a contract before Penn and then had to renegotiate right after Penn.
Oh, really?
I never got a Penn deal.
Damn.
Because if I sit down with Dave, I'm like, I want to be fair. I want to get paid, but it's got to like make sense. If I sat down with like someone like Penn, I think I'd be like,
Yeah.
$5 million a year?
Yeah.
Maybe. Are you going to say yes? Like, you know what I mean? Like I would just throw whatever against the wall. I never got the chance to do that.
I think Mintzy and Nicky make like 100, maybe 100. I'm sure it's more by now. I'm sure like 100.
That I don't know. I'm not totally sure on that one.
Yeah, and then I think that I thought that was I don't know. I thought that somebody said Big T makes 100.
It's interesting too. Is like $100,000 still has this like six figures has this like value in America.
Mm-hmm.
And for sure. I mean, you make $100,000, you're making like way more than 99% of the people and all that shit. But it also doesn't go the distance like it used to.
Yeah.
You make $100,000 in New York City, like you're not killing it.
Yeah.
You're not doing well. You're not even like comfortable.
Yeah.
So that shift almost needs to occur where it's like six figures is good, but if you're living in like a major city and you're doing major work, like it's really not.
Yeah.
What do you think it is with inflation and all that sort of shit too? So,
well, I was just saying, like, I think that they are actually all on par with each other. So
yeah.
then
I
it
would
makes
imagine,
it a little worse that because I was like, I could see myself like kind of.
If Big
it
T
sounds
made, like
he's
50,
flustered,
and he's like, these guys make twice me, but it's like if you're all like in the 100 range, why are you throwing these guys under the bus?
Yeah, like it sounded like. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I actually didn't hear his apology, and apparently his apology was good. It made sense.
I also it's very difficult. Like, Dave has openly tweeted things like about Mintzy being like, "This is the most selfish piece of shit I've like ever employed."
Yeah,
and it's like half a joke but half real. And then so when it's your turn to like talk about your value and your worth, it's like, all right, well, let's start off. I'm not the most selfish piece of shit you've ever employed. You know what I mean? It's like when those kind of things are made public, it's hard to not like use them in your negotiating. And that's why I think this show of like, if it was all public, like if you had to negotiate your value in front of, imagine if there was like a live chat. Oh my God, this is like Saw.
Yeah.
If you were like making your case of why you deserve the money and like the internet could see and comment, like, actually, she doesn't deserve that.
Oh my God.
Why don't you give that money to this person? It's like what Big T was doing, but like the internet would do it for it. Oh, it would be terrible.
That'd be terrible.
But it would be
the most entertaining thing in the world.
It's like maybe if you want to create a new vertical, that's it. Like Dave, I'll film this and I'll produce this. All you got to do is do your job, but it's gonna be on camera. Maybe we should delete this. I don't want this to go into practice.
I know.
All right. Anything else? I think that was really all the main things I wanted to talk about. It. All right, cool. We'll see you guys on Thursday. SAXX is the original pouch underwear, changing the game since 2006. Damn. I was about to say, how do we know that they are truly the original pouch underwear? Because everybody's got a pouch, at least trying to replicate the pouch. Not for SAXX. OG shit. 2006. They patented their ballpark pouch technology, the most comfortable underwear for men, period. If you take a look at their pouch, it really is like new technology. There's like a mesh lining and it's all symmetrical and it just sits there. Very comfortable, made out of that soft material, but it's not like dry fit. Like it's a good blend. It's like soft and cottony, but also stretchy and performance gear. It's a very good setup by SAXX. And think about it. It's underwear. You wear underwear every single day. You change them every single day. They can make or break your day in terms of how good or bad your underwear might be. And that's where SAXX gives you breathable fabric with no ride-up legs and a pouch that keeps everything in its lane. There's no chafing. There's no riding up. There's no weird adjusting midday. That you do that thing where you put your hand in your pocket. You think you just, oh, I got my hand in my pocket. You're actually like readjusting. You don't need to do any of that with SAXX. It's the kind of underwear that you notice when you first put them on. You're like, oh, shit, this is comfortable. But then you never think about it again the rest of the day because it's just that comfortable. Once you try SAXX underwear, you realize how bad your old underwear really was, and you'll never go back. So upgrade your drawers, upgrade your day with SAXX. That's SAXX.com, SAXX.com to upgrade your comfort today.
Have you done any shows today?
Today? No.
Like podcast.
Oh. I was like, no. Thank God. I
You didn't do the classic 11 a.m. comedy show?
I've done it. I've been on a brunch show and been like, nobody wanted this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Soder do, what was it, at fucking, what was Bert's thing called? Fully Loaded. On Fully Loaded.
Oh, and during the day?
Soder came, like, Soder was like had an early spot, which surprised me. It's Soder.
Soder,
and
yeah.
he like came out and he was like doing comedy in the daylight. No one ever asked for this.
No.
But then when he does well, like, 'cause obviously he killed.
I mean, he crushes, yeah.
And you're like, well, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen because it's
just have to
perfectly
acknowledge
bright
it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just everyone.
What do they say is like the prime time?
I think I've heard Saturday first show is the best show.
You know what? Usually, but sometimes you get wild cards. Lately, my late shows have been better. They've been selling out faster and they've been better. And I'm like, what's going on?
Really?
Are all of my fans meth addicts? Like, I want to go to bed because I'm like, what if instead of a late show, we do a 4 p.m. and the late shows keep selling? And I'm like, why are you like this? Why? But usually, yeah, Saturday, they're rested. They're primed. Not the Friday
We got
late shows.
a couple of drinks,
worst.
but not too many.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm far from an expert in this, but I've heard it said like the Friday evening show is everyone's trying to get drunk too fast beforehand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the Friday late show, they're already too drunk.
They're blacked out. They're tired from work, but they're still. It's people who are in their 30s who are like, I can still hang.
Yeah.
And they cannot. They absolutely cannot. They're like, what a funny lady. And you're like, what? Why? Put your shirt on. It's
Dude,
the worst.
When I would drink a lot and go to late comedy shows, I was the hardest laugher in the room. And I'm like, why can't everyone just do that? Why you
Thank
gotta start
God.
yelling?
Yeah, well, it's the internet has made it worse too.
Has
Clips,
it?
people are like, I'm heckling. You're like, what? Put me in your stick.
Oh,
My
everyone-
stick?
Everyone wants to be in like crowd work.
Yeah, they're like, ask what I do. You're like, I don't. Or it's the opposite where I've been in clubs where the show doesn't sell out and it'll be close to sold out and the only seats not sat are the front because everyone's like, please don't pick on me.
Dude, that bothers me.
It makes me
no
sad
end.
because it's better the closer you are.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes clubs do it where like we're reserving these tables.
They try to charge more.
And it's like, just fucking put people in, like, why don't want every other seat here
Yeah,
filled except the
seat
ones I
people.
can see?
Start them in the front. Yeah, I don't want to look out and be like, is there anybody out here?
Yeah.
It's so bad. And
I
I'm
feel
not
like-
even.
Oh, sorry. The
No.
show that we saw you at, if I'm remembering, there was a lot of people though that were like trying to be funny, trying to be the star of the show, that was
Like chiming in.
Yeah.
That don't tell show. Yeah, those are those are always like 20s, a lot of 20s bros who are like, I'm fans of comedians. I get it. And you're like, all right.
I have a question, and
Yes.
obviously this is incredibly weighted on where I work and who I hang out with. I feel like everyone in the world is a mid-20s bro. Like everywhere you go, it's just like it's kind of a bro crowd.
Yeah, in your world for sure. Yeah, that's your audience. It is funny watching different audience because I've gotten to open for different comics like before I started headlining, and the difference in when I've opened for Theo and it's all like it's all bros that look like Theo or like Southern.
Well, you know what? I think that's what it is. I think bro is used so widely that it just means guys.
Now I'm trying to think. What is a guy that's not a
Like
bro?
I would
And-
never describe Theo as a bro.
No, me neither. I wouldn't describe him as a bro, but his crowd is. I think bros are just fun, so they go out more. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, if you're having a good time, there's probably bros around.
yeah. But then when I used to open for Ari, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of guys in black t-shirts. We're like, And those will be like my trickle down fans. So now the people who come out for me, it's such a mixed bag of. There will be women, but then there's guys sitting alone. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I got a lot of fans that don't have friends. I'm their friend.
We had a show in Philly last night, and I forget the woman's name, unfortunately, but she was like, this is my first show I've ever come to alone. Like, this was so much fun. And we were like, hell yeah,
it's better alone. I wish I could announce that, because sometimes you go to a comedy show, especially if it's a date or someone you're not super close with, and there's maybe the comic's making kind of inappropriate jokes, and you want to laugh, be like, haha, I didn't think I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah. I do really like racist jokes. I forgot to mention that.
I forgot I love it. Oh, do a Chinese accent. My favorite. Yeah, it's kind of better. I wish more people would just do it. I think people get afraid to go out alone, and I'm like, no, dude, go out.
Do you think accents are coming back? Because I'm getting that feeling.
I think they are. I do think it's messed up that only certain accents have been cancelable. Like, it's like don't be Asian at all, but then French or Italian people can go fuck themselves. They're just like anyone can go up there and go, blah, 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 we just go, oh my god, it's great.
And Jamaica, we're like, well, that one's too good. We're keeping Jamaica.
Yeah, you have to. That's such a hard accent to do, and I have Jamaican step family, obviously, but that's one I couldn't crack. I always try to do Jamaican accents, and I become like an old Indian man.
Yeah, like, with Jamaican, you get Irish fast. You're like, I went Australian. Fuck. They're all of that same like tone.
Yeah.
But I think they're coming back because I think people are doing them more accurately. Like I've done accents lately that I felt good doing, and no one got mad about.
You've done accents on stage?
On stage, on podcasts.
Get him. Find him. Montage.
No, I've done them on podcasts, and like. Because I'm actually trying to sound like this person.
That's not
like a vague Asian person. You know what I mean?
I think you're onto something. I have always felt like it should be okay if it's accurate.
Yeah.
If you can nail it, you should be able to do it.
Like we have Les Mascots, a show.
Great show. I want to talk to you about it for hours.
But when we first put it out, we were going over the pilot, and Tommy does an Asian accent in it.
Yeah.
And we were like, I don't know, like, do people get mad about that these days? Like, it's funny, but he's doing Everything Everywhere All at Once. He's doing like he's trying to do that voice,
that
not
character,
like, not doing like a vague, like racist.
It's very clear he's
Asian.
like trying to. Oh, and in the scene, I saw it.
Yeah.
He's like trying to channel the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I also just at this point like. Anyone who's been canceled for that is so successful. And put more in your show.
Most people who've been canceled are very successful.
Yeah, do a whole show just doing the accent. You'll be so rich. I agree. It's like, why can't we? It's weird that actors are supposed to be limited into what they can impersonate. I know I'm sure there's something taboo about what I'm going to say, or someone will get mad about it, but there's some people who think like straight people shouldn't play gay people, but then gay people can play straight people. I'm like, we're acting. The whole thing is like, don't be yourself. I don't know.
And the funny thing about that is, like, if you talk to an actor about it, they're like, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I remember when that debate was really kicking around. Yeah. I remember I asked two guests specifically about it. I asked Eric Stonestreet because he played Cam in Modern Family. Yep. And then I asked Bryan Cranston because he was promoting a movie where he was playing a quadriplegic. And like neither of them even really had like long. I can't
believe I just laughed. Sorry. I did not see that movie.
It's
and
actually
I'm like,
a great movie. It's
just the effects of that must be.
What was the movie? It's Cranston and Kevin Hart.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a remake of a French movie that people consider like a classic. I don't think this one really did that well, but I liked it. But they both like neither of them had this extreme answer that you would expect.
Your mic.
My mic?
Yeah,
the upside.
It follows you.
Oh no.
Good?
Good.
All right, so it's called The Upside is the movie. But
why did I laugh? Okay, I'm going to hell.
You keep laughing.
But
Kevin Hart's like, I wish I wasn't so short, and then a quadriplegic goes by, and he's like, I'm fine.
Yeah. But they were both like, it wasn't like, I feel like someone who felt like they were doing something wrong would have a bigger answer where they were like, actually, it's okay because blank, 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 blank.
Yeah, they'd
and
over-explain.
They're just like, no, I'm pretending.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I don't know why we're all freaking out about this.
That's
you guys
literally
seem
what
to
it is.
understand it pretty well.
Yeah, you're not. Bryan Cranston didn't after the movie pretend to be quadriplegic still and go on disability. Let the man act. Also, you do a better job. You think they didn't try to get a quadriplegic and they're like, well, Bryan Cranston, what are we going to do? He's going to sell tickets, not Joe, the guy with no legs.
Just this guy who lost it to a fucking IED.
Yeah.
Like, why's Cranston got the job?
He's taking all my roles.
I feel like after the Snow White thing where they...
that one I got mad at.
With the whole dwarves. But then didn't they just do like digital dwarves?
Yeah. And I just feel like there's so few roles for dwarves, for little people. But Brad Williams got screwed. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, that one actually I could get behind.
That was his chance. And
I remember Peter Dinklage saying basically the same thing, where he's like, "You're taking jobs away from little people.
They're taking our jobs.
Where we exist and we need jobs, and that would be a perfect fucking job for us, playing a little person."
I mean, I think Disney just wanted that movie to sell tickets on outrage at this point. I mean,
yeah, there were so many things.
A not white Snow White. I'm like, it's in the name. Come on. Any other role, fine. But you're supposed to get an Eastern European lady in there. Some pale woman. Yeah. Just a gothic.
By the way, we introduced you before you come on, but Jessica Singleton. Do you go by Jessica Michelle Singleton?
It's Jessica Michelle. It's like a long white trash.
Jessica Michelle Singleton?
Yeah, it's like a double first name.
I wasn't sure, so I wanted to talk to you about it. But Jessica Michelle Singleton, where are you from?
That's a loaded question. So I was born in Germany and then moved to southern Mississippi when I was 3. And then in 6th grade, my mom drove us from Mississippi to Alaska, and that's where I did high school and all that.
Because I couldn't place you.
No one
that
can.
Makes perfect sense.
It's just very different white places, basically. Just a lot of culture shock. But
where'd you grow up in Alaska?
Anchorage.
Yeah.
Did you say Alaska when shorthand you wanted to say like where you're from?
Yeah, usually. Okay. Yeah, Alaska, but then I feel like there's things about me that people go, it just seems kind of like a redneck sometimes. But that also is very Alaskan, I guess. It's just northern rednecks, slednecks. But
is that what they call it?
That's what they call it. There's like I don't want to call it a gang. It's like a group of they snow machiners, and like that's like their brand.
So I'm from Massachusetts, so I'm from the north, but not as north as that.
Yeah, grow up.
Where I grew up, I consider any kind of motor vehicle like that. Like that's white trash. Like if you're vroom vrooming, if you're on a fucking jet ski, if you're on a ski-doo, if you're on an ATV, that's white trash.
And that's how I know I'm white trash, because I just hear an engine like that and I get a little wet. I'm like, oh yeah. Look at the guy in the helmet. You never want to see him without the helmet. It's always so upsetting. You go, man, I was really excited when you hit. Oh, the smell of Mountain Dew in the summer. Talk dirty to me.
Mountain Dew in a parliament?
Yeah. Oh, God, take me back.
But was that, like, in Alaska, was that white trash, or was that like kind of a way of life?
I mean, I think both can be true. I think it's like, do most people who are white trash know they're white trash, or are they just like, I'm fucking cool, dude? It's probably somewhere in between. I had more than one friend that was sponsored by an energy drink,
Really?
just for snowboarding or snow machining. Just like, it's just how it is. It's sort of, there's a lot of different people, but there's definitely like the hunting, fishing. Yeah, vroom vroom.
Yeah. What would you say is like the most redneck thing that you regularly saw? Or sledneck.
Sledneck.
I mean, probably just that. We did a lot of camping. There was just a lot of drinking in the woods.
Yeah, but that's awesome, right?
It is. It's crazy how much I camped in high school, and I don't know that I've camped since. Yeah, that I'm just like, we would just go in the winter time. That was our like, we're all staying the night at each other's house, sneak out thing, and just go. I mean, I've nearly started a forest fire once, and that someone tried to put out with vodka, very cheap vodka, which might as well have been gasoline.
It's like the number one thing that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. And I was like, we're all gonna die. The lake's we're right. I think we were camping either right next to or on a lake. The lakes freeze over so much. People have houses that you have to take a boat to in the summer, but you can drive in the winter.
What?
It's crazy, and people just be. I don't know. I dipped in high school. I was a redneck.
You chewed?
I played ice hockey, and I would have Copenhagen long cut. I was a small man.
Dude, so the school I went to, we had girls hockey teams, and the girls hockey team was always, it was just like they were just the bros.
Yeah.
They were the bros.
I was a bro.
Like, they would have like the girls would have more disgusting dip stories than we had. Where like the girls like because we fuck around in each other's locker rooms and shit like that, and you'd be like, "What is this sock?" And you're like, that's Kelly's sock for practice. Like, why is it all brown? Like, we put dip in our toes for practice.
Okay, I did not do that. That's crazy.
Girls would, look, who knows
I did not wash my socks until we would lose.
I did not wash my gitch my entire high school career.
I stunk up my home.
Just for good luck reasons or just for like...
I did it for good luck. We were good, though. I was like, well, I'm not going to break the streak. We're winning. We kept winning. I was like, what am I going to do? Wash? Absolutely not.
It's crazy you believe those things. You're like, I'm just going to wash away all the victory.
Yeah. Just putting on just crunching into my gear. Just, let's go, girls. Not what Shania Twain meant at all. Just spitting on the ice. Like, my God, you're disgusting.
We had like a rink on campus, and we used to like play whenever we had free periods and stuff like that. And they would always be like, "Who's been out here dipping all over the place?" And like, the fucking girls, dude. I spit over the side of the boards.
And we have a bottle.
Like private school girls.
Yeah.
Damn.
Disgusting pigs, and I love it. Oh my God, it was the best. And I was such a fraud though. I couldn't handle it. I'd dip, and then 5 minutes later, I'd be like, I'm gonna barf. Just spit it out and be like, no, I'm having fun.
The very first time I ever dipped was a high school football game, and it was like it was a public school game, so I had like a McDonald's cup with a beer, just the full we put the can in the cup, so then you put the straw into the can, you just drink it like that. So I had like probably 5 beers, and then I had my first lip. And they had to carry me out of the stands. I was like, guys, I can't even fucking move.
I can't
right now.
stand up. Oh my God. I'm just having like taste bud flashbacks to high school. Just the dips, the fucking apple flavored vodkas.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
the biggest square that I can't even relate.
Really?
Good.
I get it.
It just means you respect yourself.
Jackie
Good
went to high
for
school
you.
in L.A. So, or no, San Francisco. Sorry,
San Francisco.
college in L.A.
Whoa. Way different.
It's actually like crazy far apart and really different,
they're
but as
really
far as
different.
I'm concerned, it's the same because
It
it's
is.
a different coast.
It is crazy that people will just lump California as all one place. There's it's such a difference in the Bay versus LA. But
And you pointed yourself in the Bay. You're in L.A.
no,
right?
I mean, I don't know why. In my mind, there was an imaginary map. I was pointing the Bay. I'm in LA. It's fine.
You don't like it?
I like the weather. It's good for, comedy. And now I'm finally trying to do others like acting and more writing and stuff. So it's good for that. But I don't know. I love stand-up in New York.
I've
had 3 good sets since I've been here in a row. And now I'm like, I got to move to New York.
I need this energy.
It happens every time I come here. I'm like, I'm alive. And then I just get like spit on by a person looking for heroin in the trash. And I'm like, okay, I should get home.
We actually, I did a video on Saturday with Stuff Island, and their producer Josh was there, and it was his first time. He's a younger guy. It's his first time ever in New York. He's from Iowa.
Oh wow!
And he's a great kid. I love Josh. And he was like, I love it here. And I was like, oh yeah, like what do you like about it? And he goes, just nothing matters. And I was like, I patted him on the back. I was like really proud of him. I was like, you got that fast, dude. Good for you.
That's so funny. That is what's great about New York. You're like, who cares if there's a booger on my face in the train? We're all gonna die. It's so insane.
It's there. We were talking more about it. He's like, there's just like this feeling of depression. And I was like, yes, everything is attached to a sadness, but like then that makes everything more fun. Is that like
and
when
acceptance?
I don't know, everything's not going to be great. Who cares?
It's not going to get better. Who cares? Just eat the pizza. Yeah. And then in LA, it's like the opposite, where it feels like everything matters. Even though it also doesn't matter, but it's just like
same rules.
I walked down the street and I'm like, is everyone judging everyone? Yeah, my headphones, I'm like, what if they find out what I'm listening to? It's crazy.
The last time I went to LA, I went to Erewhon, and it was literally such the epitome. It was, I saw 3 people with their TikToks up with the Haley Bieber speed. They go, it's pretty good, actually. The exact same sentence. And I was like, oh, LA is like...
It's the worst.
No, but like, it's
I mean, it just is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to just accept it. The other day, I moved into a new place and I walked out on my balcony, and there was absolutely a girl across the street on her balcony, either doing a TikTok. She might have been trying to film something for OnlyFans Outdoors. It was nighttime, and she was like twerking. And I just stood there knowing I was in the background, just far away. Like, I hope I ruined this. I hope people go, I hope it gets engagement because they're like, who's that weird lady staring in the background? But she was just fully going for it. It's a weird thing to see influencers, like, fine, do your thing, but you're not like a little embarrassed?
That was the hump I could never get over.
No, because I've had to make like front-facing videos, but someone comes by and I go, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
But they're just like, "I'm here on the streets of Silver Lake," and I'm like, "Oh God, what happened to shame?"
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
God.
It's. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. It's got. I've reached the level where I genuinely, and I'm gonna put a little bit of an asterisk on genuinely. Like, I believe phones should be banned in public. I actually believe that.
I mean, people will run into you. We're all just like.
When like walking down the streets in New York, exactly what you're saying. We're like, I have to dodge people. Like, just pick your fucking head up and look where you're walking.
It's so annoying. Yeah, I become such a cartoon of a New Yorker so quickly. When someone's on their phone in front of me in the subway, I'm like, "Hey, get out of the way! We'll try to get somewhere."
Yeah. Get out of the way, you fucking fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna push you in the tracks. It's just crazy. There's the self-awareness is gone. We're all addicted. I'm not even excluding myself. I'm sure I've been that person where I'm just like, I have to finish this. I have to watch the video.
Yeah.
It's weird when I see somebody on TikTok walking. Like, we don't need to be doing that.
But when you're walking, what are you looking at?
This is why I'm kind of almost like, I don't know if anybody could even try and mug me, because I'm aware of my
surroundings
at all
So you're
times.
not on your phone?
I'm not on my phone.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But I see other people on their phones.
Yeah.
And then I feel like such a boomer being like, or then I feel like such a New Yorker being like, I am walking here. Like,
Yeah, I am
I'm literally
I'm
walking
literally
here.
walking here. Like, and then I think, I'm so not California anymore.
You're like, I am officially a
I'm
resident.
officially a New Yorker.
Yeah, I know. I'm usually not on mine because I'm looking around, but I also creep people out doing that. People are on their phones so much that I feel like now I feel crazy. If I'm phone down, I make eye contact with someone. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have been looking at you. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're sitting like a shrimp. You're all
just
folded weird.
hunched. Like the few times I've caught my own reflection in my phone, I'm so hyper aware of it now that I'm like on the train. I'm not making a video. I just don't want to hurt my neck. I'm doing business. It's insane. It's so insane.
I don't know what we're gonna do about it, but we'll figure it out. I'm
Die.
sure.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Guys, enter the room dick first. BlueChew isn't just a tablet, it's a cheat code for your crotch so that when you walk in that room and you go dick first, that your reputation precedes you. Get stronger, harder, longer lasting erections and performance in bed like someone gave your downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. BlueChew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. It ain't a supplement, it's an erection resurrection. And it's not just about performance, it's about your legacy. Give her and her group chat something to talk about because you know they're gossiping about you afterwards. Well, how big was it? How long did he last? How good was he? All of that can be enhanced with BlueChew. And that way, when you lay it down, they will be talking about how you get it up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than BlueChew. So discover your options at BlueChew.com right now. We've got a special deal for my listeners. As always, you get your first month of BlueChew for free. A whole month of great erections and great sex because of BlueChew when you use promo code KFC at checkout. All you got to do is pay $5 for the shipping, but the actual medication is for free when you go to BlueChew.com and use promo code KFC. BlueChew's mission is to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time, so head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. And a big thanks to BlueChew for sponsoring the podcast. Once again, promo code KFC for a free month and just $5 for shipping.
What are people in Alaska like? Are they...
I mean, they're behind they're not as like addicted to social media. That's for sure. It feels real small town when I go home, even though it's a big city for Alaska.
Big is Anchorage?
Anchorage is the biggest city in the state. It's 250,000.
Oh, really?
It's teeny tiny compared to LA or New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
250 is still big though. Like, I'm from a quote unquote city. It's not a major city, but like it is a city, and that's like 100,000. So 250 is a good
it's
deal
not
bigger
bad.
than that.
It's just a lot of. It feels almost Midwestern. It's its own place in a way because Alaskans, I can't even explain how Alaskans are weird. We just like the fashion sense in Anchorage. People wear extra tufts, which are like rain boots. That's like, but it's like, you don't have extra tufts?
Oh.
It's like uppity about weird things. In high school, if you don't have a North Face and Doc Martens, it's like, do you even know about fashion? It's like, we all look like lesbians. Why are we judging each other? What's going on?
Dude, can I tell you about extra tufts? I have recently, my dad has a pair now. And because my parents, like, it's not a farm, they live in the country. And he wears them all the time. And I always think, I'm like, damn, that actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they're Northern Crocs. That's what they are. Yeah. No, me too. I go home and I go, I should get some. And I'm like, you live in LA.
Yeah.
You can't
like,
just wear extra tufts in the middle of summer in Los Angeles.
Can I buy some extra tufts to leave at the house so I can feel cool when I come home? Like, I want to hang around in the mud with you.
It's crazy. It's a lot of hockey. All my friends are hockey moms now. It's crazy. Everyone my age in LA is getting like too much work too fast, so they look like they're on a roller coaster. And then all my friends in Alaska, it's just like pants getting higher, hair slowly getting shorter, and like these kids. I'm like, oh, you're turning.
Yeah,
you're turning.
Nice to meet you, Mrs. Palin.
It's crazy because they like my hometown. People all had kids in their early 20s. It's like that's what you do. You get married. You have kids. You get divorced. Your husband is now with your neighbor. You're like, we're all having fun here. You swap husbands. Yeah, it's the best thing you can.
Did you think that you were going to end up like that, or did you always know, like, no?
You know what? I feel like there is like a small alternate universe where I could have. Like I had a boyfriend when I moved to college where I'm like, the first week of college, I wasn't really vibing with anyone yet. And I'm like, oh, what if I had gone home? I for sure would be married to that guy and probably 40 pounds heavier. And he'd be pretending he still found me attractive. And I'd be screaming. I'd be like the parent who took their kids' work too seriously. I'd be the annoying PTA mom. That's what I do. I get too involved. I can't have kids. They'll be pieces of shit. I know based on how I treat my dogs. Like, she's so special and smart. She's like a regular dog. She's not very smart. I love her. Most people hate her. She barks at everyone. And she's got a snaggle too, so she looks like a little like rah, rah. I'm like, oh, she's just the best. So my kids would be assholes.
I think you're right. And I think there's something about the dogs. Is it a pit bull? French bulldog, I mean?
Thank you for that's a bold assumption, but I have French bulldog energy. Thank you.
I just feel like French bulldogs, they always got the snaggle.
Snaggle. No, she's just a rescue from China. She's like a Pekingese mix. Got her in October 2019. Did I single-handedly bring COVID to the United States? We'll never know. Is she the bat? Maybe. She's just this black. Do you remember Falcor from The Neverending Story?
Big.
The big white thing that floats.
Yes.
She looks like a tiny black version of that. Like to a T, her face she looks magical. I named her Moki, which is one of the Muppets, the Fraggles from Fraggle Rock.
Oh,
it's a very niche
Fraggle Rock
old reference, but because she just looks like a Muppet.
I have, she sounds like a very cute dog.
She's very cute.
Okay, that's good because
You said that you're biased, but yeah.
Yeah. I think she's objectively cute. Nice is another. Anyway, you go on.
But I feel really bad saying this. I think I have less tolerance for ugly dogs than I do for ugly humans.
Really?
Yeah.
I
think I'm like, if you're an ugly person, I'm like, all right, like I get it. You had a tough road here. If you're an ugly dog, I'm like, figure it out.
I think you're the minority in that.
Oh, absolutely the minority.
I think people can like find something cute about ugly dogs, and people are just so mean to ugly people. They're like, "How dare you be near me?"
Yeah.
I
think that's why I think I'm trying in my head. I'm trying to make up for how most people treat people. Yeah. That I'm like, I'll be nice to the person. I don't want to pet the ugly dog. Like there was back when we were like early blogging. There was always, I'm sure it still exists, but it's not as big a deal. Like the world's ugliest dog competition. And people would like
a tongue.
Yeah, people would be like, oh, he's so cute. I'm like, that thing is the most disgusting looking creature.
It shouldn't be alive. It barely is.
Yeah.
Usually it's like an old dog that's like.
If we put some helmet on that dog that could allow us to hear its thoughts, it would be like, fucking kill me. Get me out of here, dude.
My bones hurt. Yeah. Just squeeze me and make it end.
I saw a dog 2 days ago with like the worst hemorrhoids I've ever seen.
Oh no.
It's like, because its tail was up, its butthole was just like coming out of itself. It was so bad. And I had to switch streets because it was too gross to be behind.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's
Like, that dog, like, it doesn't even have like thumbs to be. I don't even know like how you deal with
to relapse its anus, thumbs to get back.
I don't even know.
Yeah, how you scratch your ass, Jackie?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like.
Don't you want to get it out?
Yeah, he's like, he can't even shove a thumb up his ass if he wants to.
That's what you do. You gotta tuck your hemorrhoids in. Sometimes you just gotta pop them.
I really don't know why I said the thumbs thing. I really take it back.
I get it.
But like it makes it
I had to
sound
switch sides of the street the whole time. I was like, I'll do it, buddy.
I gotta get in there. Let me fix it. I can do it. I can fix you.
Don't know why I said the thumbs thing. I also like have never had hemorrhoids, so like I don't even know if that's how you deal with it. But anyways, I just felt like the dog just has to kind of like can't even treat it.
Live with it.
God.
He couldn't even butt scratch him off. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like you would be able to. I don't know.
I have no hemorrhoid knowledge myself either. It is a more common thing than I think. Like, I've never even heard.
I had one once.
Did
Didn't
you?
come back. They say they come back. I don't know where it came from. Probably pushing too hard. Just, I really want it sometimes. When it's
I
not
have a
time.
buddy who says that's how you get it. It's from pushing too hard.
That's what everyone says. And it was years ago. Anyway, why did I say that?
no.
But he has
Hemorrhoids, ladies.
He's got hemorrhoids nonstop.
I have a friend like that too that's always like, my hemorrhoid. And I'm like, can you have that surgically removed?
But I'm like, stop pushing so hard,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
Like,
irresponsible.
if you know what
Eat
the
fiber.
fucking thing is,
Yeah.
stop pushing so hard.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait 10 more minutes. What are you trying to I gotta get it out. Just go for a walk.
Go sit on the couch a little longer. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Jog around. Chug some tea. What are we doing? It's, I don't know. We live in a push your shit out culture, I guess. I have a friend that has them so often that it's like, it sounds like she has a conjoined twin the way she talks about it. I'm like, maybe stop.
What exactly is it? It's
I honestly it's
don't know.
something out of your asshole, I imagine.
yeah, but
It's-
it's something like falling because I get that confused with not hemorrhoid, the
Hernia.
hernia.
Yeah.
Which I also don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But it
Bulges
protrudes.
out of your stomach.
My brother used to get them when he was a baby.
Hemorrhoids or
Hernias. He was so fat. It was like when he
Is
was
that what happens?
he was
You're
so
fat,
fat.
and your body's trying to escape. Get me, I'm being crushed by the fat. It's just a bone.
I misspoke there. He was so fat that when he rolled, he would roll his shoulder out of his socket.
Oh my
So as
God.
a baby, he couldn't walk, he couldn't talk. We had to be like,
He's too fat to be a baby.
like, my mom would be like, I'm gonna leave Ben here. Don't let him roll. I would be like 6. I'd be like, I'd pin my.
Am I supposed to stop him? He's a boulder.
It's funny because I actually always wonder if there's a level of fat that you can get to where you're kind of indestructible because you could just throw yourself on the floor and you're just too fat where you can't break a bone.
I would
That's
guess.
a good question.
Like, have you ever seen that image?
When you must be strong under that. If you're very big, I mean, you're carrying a lot of weight. It's constantly doing a weighted vest.
Yeah, I could see your joints being at serious jeopardy, but your actual bones,
muscles and bones have to be
muscles and bones. They're pretty protected.
yeah,
Kind of like an umpire, how they have all the padding and
yeah.
Like,
Can
this
you be so
picture,
fat
like,
you don't need padding as an
look
umpire?
how many.
Yes.
Like, obviously, that's an incredibly fat person.
This can't be real. That's so wild.
It's insane.
700-pound man. And that skinny little, the fact that, dude, your skeleton doesn't get even a little bit bigger. It's just no.
It's just that leg of the chair. Come on, guys. Come on.
That's crazy. That's so insane.
Yeah, that's probably the level of fat where it's you're indestructible. actually.
Yeah. You're nothing can hurt you.
yeah.
It is
You can't
crazy.
hurt me.
700-pound man. Goodness gracious.
Sometimes it feels like it would be fun. To just be who gives a shit?
That would be if I was supposed to die and I would eat so much food.
Dude,
If I
yeah.
Really?
had whatever.
Do you? So
Chocolate
you
cakes,
actually
chocolate-
you monitor your eating?
What are you, a woman who's
Yeah,
alive?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I was
are
trying to
you-
be- yeah.
You said that so foreign.
It's-
Do you think about what you...
I'm kind of genuinely you have a diet. You have a diet.
I don't have a diet, but I just definitely am
You
I
think
can't be
about
going
it.
I want to go nuts on this cake right now, and I'm not I can't be doing that.
Yeah. Well, there's food I look at and I twitch. Nobody respects a food addiction in our culture either. Everyone wants to yes queen you. Just have the pizza, have a burger. You earned it. You would never say that if I was I'm addicted to heroin.
Yeah,
you would be like, just one little, just shoot up once. You had a good week.
Yeah, you had a long day.
Yeah, because you want to go wild on it sometimes.
Yeah.
And
What is your?
You want me to pick one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
One I'm sweets. If you put me in a room with candy, I'm eating all of the candy. It's
I like
a
a
real
candy.
problem.
I'm more of a savory, honest.
Really?
So, yeah.
I don't know many savory people.
I could house a whole pizza if I let myself, just like a burrito.
See, that I used to be able to do. I can't really I get large pizza, hammer it, no problem. Now I kind of just get full.
I do
which is
get full now,
embarrassing.
thank God. But then also I have a problem where I think some of it is just poverty brain because I grew up poor, where I'll be full before the meal is done, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna finish this sandwich. And I'm just stuffing myself to the point of I don't want to be alive anymore. Just because I paid for this. I'll eat just shoving French fries in it's the end of days. You're gonna eat every I'm Bruce from Matilda. Bruce Bolton, or just every last bite.
Well, that's what I think of. If I were to do one thing, I would do cake, fork.
Yeah.
Really?
That's
Go icing first.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I also do love sweets. It's really hard to. It's Sophie's choice.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. I love food.
The Louis C.K. joke when he was I think his doctor asked him how much he eats, and he said, "I don't understand what you mean. What's the question?" And he said, "How much do you eat typically until you feel full?" And Louis replied, "The meal doesn't end when I feel full. The meal ends when I hate myself."
That's
yeah.
philosophic. Honestly, it's so real. And then even trying to be, I've gone through eating clean and stuff, and I can do it, but I'm mean. I don't think I'm a nice person. I think I'm a little bit high on sugar all the time.
I agree. I'm the same way.
Yeah, when I eat healthy, honestly, I'm really great at setting boundaries and saying no. When I'm healthy, I'm get the fuck away from me.
I eat healthy until a point in the day when I go, you need sugar, brother.
I tap out. I start so strong. It's salad, smoothie.
I start with a fucking yogurt, then a salad, and then it's now we're going to have 20,000 calories of candy.
Yeah, and you're now a dozen donuts.
Yeah.
Because I earned it. Yeah, it's a sickness. It really is.
We were talking before the show, and you had mentioned that you used to be a mascot.
Yeah, I have to talk to you about this because I'm obsessed with this. I was my high school mascot.
No way.
Yeah.
What mascot, first of all?
We were Cougars.
Cougars. It's a good mascot.
Still, in theory, I'm the mascot of the high school. Am I right, boys? No, I'm a state champion mascot. I am a competitive mascot. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Alaska, so there was 2 other teams. But I took it very seriously.
So what is competitive mascotting even entail?
I mean, it's just you have to do a routine at state championship mascot. But I did it when I did it was 2005, and so it was way before. There's so much technology now for mixing and making music. I had to make my own track of mashing up Lil Jon.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And then I did a voiceover cheer, and I was bouncing around. It's a very good thing for anyone who's small and very physical. My comedy is very physical, but I just did it as originally I went out. I tried out for the cheerleading squad, and they're like, "We love your energy, but your stunts aren't really great.
No way.
But we want to do something with you." And I was like, "What about mascot?" And they were like, "We do have." It was a dusty old uniform hidden in a closet. No one had been a mascot for years. They're like, "Actually, we do." Just blowing dust off of it, going "Here we go." And then it was just my senior year. It was the greatest. I was homecoming queen as the mascot. It was, which was really upsetting, I think, for a lot of the other women. They had us at a football game. They lined up the homecoming royalty, and everyone's in their nice outfits. And I come out of the porta potty sweating because I just ripped off the mascot. I'm like, "Hey, everybody, happy to be here." But I just did it to be silly. But then it accidentally led to a chain of I've been several costume characters.
Get out of here.
Including, by the way, Elmo.
Really?
Yes.
Where were you, Elmo?
At Busch Gardens when they did Sesame Street Live. What if actually I pulled out papers? I'm like, I'm actually here to serve you for copyright.
No, we've been worried about that. I think ultimately we decided that PBS has bigger problems on their hands.
Absolutely. Also, you guys are wearing knockoff characters, which I think is allowed.
I think we're not like Elmo and Cookie Monster.
You're
We're
just
people who are being them.
Yeah.
So it was definitely something we were concerned about putting the show out, and it seems like PBS's lawyers are busy hoping PBS continues to exist.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, you're helping them.
Yeah.
It's free advertising. Like, what are they gonna? There's no budget. It's the People's Broadcasting System. You're gonna take my tax money to sue this show? Absolutely not.
We were honestly part of me was hoping it would get.
It's good press.
It's the greatest press you could possibly
press.
have. Like PBS, if you want to C&D us, I'm fucking begging you, dude.
No, I was actually devastated because I went to the amusement park. I went to college in Tampa, USF.
Okay.
And they were auditioning for like singers and dancers for the amusement park. And I was like, I'm going to go audition. I'm going to sing. And it was these group auditions where they would make people, you go up and you sing one song. And like if they kept sending people out after one song, and then I saw them have another, like one guy, they're like, okay, do you have a second song? He sang a second song. They asked him to do a monologue. He did a monologue. That's what they tell you to prepare. So I was like, okay, that's what happens if they want you. And I'm watching all these people go up, and they have me go up, and I sing, and like, do you have another song? And I was like, I do. And I sang, and then I did a monologue, and they're like, go talk to that lady over at that table. And I was like, I'm going to be a singer at an amusement park, which now is like, wow, this was the heartbreak. But at the time, I was like, I'll show you, world. And then I go over to the table. She's like, how tall are you? And I was like, 4'11". And she's like, great. We desperately need someone to play Elmo for Sesame Street. And I was like, does Elmo sing? And she's like, no. I'm like, does he talk? And in fact, he doesn't make any noise. In fact, you'll be in trouble if you make a peep. And I was like, I'm in. How much? $9 an hour. I'm rich. And then I just nearly died most nights.
How many nights did you do it?
I would do, I think it was like 3 or 4 nights a week, but it was Florida summer.
Oh my God.
And just in this heat, there was rules on how long you could stay out based on the heat. But then I would always be paired with someone who wasn't part of our department, and they would like forget to like keep track of the time, and there'd be lines of like Brazilian tourist groups coming up and like tossing me in the air, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. Just like passing out in the costume. It was crazy.
Did people, like, when they came out to you in costume, did they respect you as a person, or were you Elmo? Like, were you an entity?
I was an entity, but I think because it was Elmo, they respected Elmo.
Yeah, this one's all right.
Yeah, no, because after the Sesame
Street,
Street,
fucking Bluey, we'd have a problem.
I mean, they asked me to stay on after the Sesame Street because it was like a contractual stint, and they just had these generic costume characters for the park that they're like, now you're Hilda the hippo. Nobody respected the hippo. I was getting punched by kids. I was like, this is hell. I gotta get out of college quick. I need a degree. People were just spitting on me. I'm like, and it was this fat costume. It was like so fat. The hippo. It had like a hula hoop built in. And it was actually supposed to be for a really tall person, but they didn't have one. They're like, I'll just make it a short, fat hippo. But I'm so small that it just like only my hands came out instead of like full arms. So it was just like me stuck in a fat costume being like, yay, I'm an actor. So sad.
Would you have wanted the people to, excuse me, like, would you prefer them to treat you like a person and talk to you like a human, or treat you like Hilda the hippo?
Treat me like Hilda the hippo. Make me come. You know? I'm not a human. I think it would have been weirder, honestly, for someone to go, like, what's really going on in there? I didn't need a psychological evaluation. Half the time I was so hungover. It was college, so it's just like half drunk, dressed as a hippo, being like,
take your fucking picture, move on.
Yeah, I know. Like, don't make me talk. Huh?
Do you get tips?
No, they wouldn't let us take tips. And which, now that I say that, it's so embarrassing how seriously I did take it a lot of times, where I was like really posing, and it's like, who cares?
We were talking about that with these mascots, where like we take pictures and we're smiling big, And like, why are we smiling?
You can't.
You can't see my fucking face. The face is smiling. I can do whatever the hell I want back here.
Yeah, you could just be asleep. But then in my mind, I'm such a dork. I'm like, they can feel it.
Yeah.
They feel me smiling on the end of the line. On the end of the line? What am I talking about? Inside the mask. Whatever.
We did a video, or kind of more of an experience, with some mascots in Columbus recently, with Crew Cat, who is the mascot of the Columbus Crew.
Oh my God.
And then with Stinger, who's the mascot of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Yeah. And I asked about the human versus mascot thing because they were there, and obviously they were being very professional, and like I don't know if they're their bosses, but superiors, people they work with were there. So while we're trying to talk to them, they were like trying to mime to us rather than talk, and we'd be like, "Nah, you can talk." And they were like, "No, we can't." No,
it's
talk.
like that's the one thing where it's like, you're done here. It's so serious. One peep and they're like, you're out of the park. Pack your bags. You're stuck on the stilts now.
It had to be like a special thing. Like, are the cameras away? Okay, they can take their helmets off.
Yeah. It was like, you'll ruin the experience.
Yeah.
You'll ruin a child's life if you utter a peep. And I'm like, as a this hippo doesn't exist. Right. Who cares?
But we were at an empty stadium.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, bro, there's no one around. You can talk. And they would be like,
it's crazy.
Nah, you're good. You can talk. It's literally just me and you right here.
And I think about it now, and I'm like, who's in those? And I was one of those people. I'm like, how mentally ill to be so serious about a costume character? But whatever.
Did you ever consider like going again? The Crew Cat and Stinger, both of them had gone to like mascot college and stuff like that. Were you were at Universal Studios or Busch Gardens, you say?
Busch Gardens.
You were at Busch Gardens and you were like, this is where this ends for me.
I wish that's where it ended.
No! No!
I didn't ever think about like going to mascot college, but probably more because I was like, I don't think I meet the real height requirements. No college mascots, those are built big people.
Honestly, guys, I think college as a whole should have a 5 foot.
They should. I think
you're coming on campus. Be normal heights around us.
Yeah, don't creep everybody out, you weird munchkin. Because we had Rocky the Bull at USF, and I'm like, I feel like that's someone who maybe just barely didn't make the cut of the football team. But now that I'm thinking that, I'm like, oh, maybe that was just a costume. There's probably just some string bean guy over there.
I feel like most mascots, in my head, under the costume, homosexual men. Which
you're probably right.
Like, and I think I'm basing that solely on the New York Liberty's mascot, who's just very fabulous.
I would tell you that every man I worked with at Busch Gardens was the gayest man I've ever met.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. My supervisor who taught me, no, you have to walk. You're Hilda.
Yeah.
He's like, sure. They made you learn the character moves, and they had like certain signatures, and which was ridiculous because I was like signing things like this. But they're like, it's about the attitude. It's like, are you really taking it seriously? Or are you also like, this is just a job, who cares? But yeah, no, just the gayest man I've ever met. Thank God.
Like a drunken man, who kind of like wants to get close to girls. Like
that for Times Square mascots and like Hollywood Boulevard mascots, that's what I think. Where they're just like burping in your ear and they're like, you want to take a picture with me? And you're like, no.
You want to come back and suck Deadpool's dick? Like, Jesus Christ.
Come to daddy.
Just the picture if you don't mind, bro.
Do not touch me. Yeah. I moved to LA right after college, and there was a casting call for there's this movie that came out in 2011 called Hop. It was an Easter movie with James Marsden that had it was like him mixed in with CGI bunnies, but to this is so embarrassing. To promote it, they had like costume character bunnies at Universal and like going to movie theaters and like for their premiere. And I was like I mean, whatever, it was work, but I was like, this is how I get into Universal. Like, I thought it would be a Steven Spielberg story where, like, yeah, I was the bunny, but then they saw my natural talent. And they were like, get her a sitcom. Like, no, they were like, never take your mask off. And, like, James Marsden was there for one, like, press appearance. They're like, do not talk to James. Never. And I was just like, oh, this is sad.
This isn't Hollywood, it turns out.
Yeah, or it really is. Yeah.
I've noticed that like I think like just when you're a kid, you think all the bright lights and all the spectacles and stuff like that, and then like we were talking about it with the Emmys the other night, where we were like, people were, how people feel about the Hollywood elites and all that. We had Michael Chiklis on, and he was like, he was saying how most people aren't rich, and I was saying, like, I'm saying that the theater that's at is like 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And maybe 200 of them are crazy wealthy.
Yeah,
like
there's seat fillers there.
Most of Hollywood, if people like trying to get into Hollywood, not
yeah, or even people who
people.
work a little. It's like you get a little moment or you're a small part on something, then it's gone and it's not life-changing. And maybe in your small town, they go, he was on 2 episodes of Big Bang. He's a star. But like, yeah, it's crazy. It's a lot of people trying to make it and a small amount who have.
And then
it smells like piss everywhere you go. In the city, like actual Hollywood, you're like, I'm gonna put my hands in Marilyn Monroe's. No, do not touch those. They're filled with feces. It's gross.
I also was surprised. I had like a very small roll on tires, and I was surprised. Like, it's men who put like who do Hollywood. Like,
you were surprised by that,
but not like not men in the sense like James Marsden. I mean, like union guys.
Oh yeah,
like,
all the people running everything.
Everything. It was, and I don't even mean men in like a men term. I just mean like union people. I was like, oh, like there's 5 people who are Hollywood people here. There are 300 people who are union workers
who
here.
Are like blue collar union. Like, I mean, you look at those guys. It's like, yeah, these are just like when you picture dads as a kid.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of guys.
That always really surprised. I was like, oh yeah, obviously they need a lot of people to move shit and like. And whenever I'd heard that like Hollywood is an industry that is not elite, that is not built on that, I kind of be like,
but a little it is.
I'm like, but not really. And then seeing that, I was like, oh, there's 40 times as many regular people here than there are stars.
That's just not what you think about. It's like they're surviving off of the glitz and glamour and the press that gets to get the money, I guess.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's like most people are just working class. And most people are in LA are faking it. It's just smoke and mirrors. The amount of people that it's like, just say you have a day job. Just tell me so I stop comparing myself to you. And going, why are they doing so well? And it's like, just tell me you have a trust fund. So I'm like, yeah, I can go to do that too. I have no money. Help. Yeah, it's such a wild world.
When you're comparing yourself, when you're not
and I do.
Everyone, I don't mean that in like a negative way. Are you looking at people who are at the same level as you? Are you looking at people who are more advanced than you? Or like,
it's a
is it
mixed
just everybody?
bag. It's like sometimes there's times where I'm like, I don't even know what level I'm at. Like I go through moments where I'm like, I don't even know who people would say my peers are.
Yeah.
But then I do. But everyone like has moments where they pop. And then things fizzle in a way that it varies. But I try to look at people who are a little further along or doing a little better than me because I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna be reaching for something, like I only finally learned to stop asking advice from people who aren't doing better than me.
Yeah.
Or it's like, why am I asking my friend who dresses like shit how my clothes look? Why would I ask career advice from someone who is not even as far along as I am?
Yeah.
But it's
I also think like looking at the people who are old, not even necessarily older, but further, is like it's not really comparing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're like looking at people who are, so to speak, on your level, I'm comparing.
Yes.
Whereas like when I'm looking at people who are better than me, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting way. Like maybe I could.
It's learning. It's like strategizing.
Like,
it's like, okay, well, they did this, and this. So maybe like, what's my version of that? Or even going, especially with stand-up, it's nice to look at those people because most of the people who are like really big now, a lot of them didn't even start to pop till they were in their 40s.
Right.
So going, oh, I'm not behind.
Yeah.
Like this, it takes longer.
I always think myself like I always think everyone achieved everything when they were 20.
Yeah, that it's like,
and I think because I achieved nothing at 20, that I'm always like, well, they're just so fucking far ahead of me right now.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's not true at all. It's just in your head.
It is just in your head, and it's like even like the people you look at, like people like Tom Segura and Burt Kreischer who are so big now. But when they were my age, it's like they were in clubs and not always selling. And they had their fans, but they weren't, super big.
And they'll tell you that.
Yeah, they will.
They'll happily tell you that.
But it's easy to invent a story of like, well, that person's at this club, they must be crushing it. And it's like, they sold 3 tickets.
Yeah.
Life is a struggle. But it's weird. I try not to compare. I try to be like eyes on your own paper, focus on being funny.
Right.
Because it'll drive you crazy.
It's just like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be their kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be my kind of funny.
Exactly.
I was reading an interview with Josh Brolin the other day, and he had a quote that I like fucking loved, and was like that because the back page of Vanity Fair is like just real quick interviews with the celebrity. It's awesome. It's a really fun 1-page thing to read.
Back page.
And they had Josh Brolin, and it was like the question was like, what are your regrets? And because everything is so quick, like I don't know what he said leading up to it and all that, but all that was on it was the time I spent trying to be someone else, or the time I spent trying to be someone I wasn't. And I was like, oh, I never thought I had regrets, but now that you say that, I do.
Yeah.
Like now it's like, oh yeah, I know.
Same, because you spend so much time, or at least I did, in comedy, you know, especially out in LA where you kind of feel like the industry is more just prevalent, and it gets in your head like, well, what is the industry looking for? And there have definitely been times where I kind of pull back on what is my funny and what's true to me, to go even subconsciously like, well, this is the kind of stuff that does well, so maybe I should be more like that. It's not like a conscious fully forward thing, but there have been times where I go like, yeah, that wasn't, or I've pulled, but I became a pussy for a few years where I was like, cancel culture, I every balance, I'm nice. I love everybody, and I do love everybody, but it's like not in the sake of fucking make a joke about something. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah, and then I just hit a wall where I was like, what am I doing? I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
I'm gonna start doing Asian accents again.
Yeah, no, immediately I just like go in full Asian face, go on the road, I blow up.
I do love the quote that's like you could like chase butterflies, but if you like grow your own garden or whatever, then the butterflies come, which is just like
I love that.
Yeah, but it's like then if you stay in your own lane, you focus, you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I do think that like things come to you.
Yes.
Cranston had one too that was cool like that, where it was like he said everything started getting easier for him when he realized that auditions aren't doing what we were just saying. Where he's like not trying, like I spent so much time trying to do what I thought the industry wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And he was like, I finally one day accepted, like, I'm just going to show them how I see this role. And if they like it, I'll work with them. If they don't, I won't. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, just do it the way you see it. And if it works, fucking perfect. And if it doesn't, we'll find someone else.
Yeah, no, because it's like you're never going to know. That's so funny because my manager / my boyfriend. Yeah, I sleep with my manager. So what? Yeah, he sleeps. You want me to take this high-paying job that's shitty? You go down on me. But maybe he was sharing that quote with me. He said something very like similar to that. And it shifted the way I audition.
It like totally like flipped. I was like, that one thing.
Granted, I haven't booked anything since it's shifted, but
I'm still over, but I'm having more fun while I'm doing it.
But no, because it's like you don't know, so you might as well do it the way it makes sense to you instead of going, what are they looking for? Because also they never know what they're looking for.
Right.
I've auditioned for things and gotten callbacks where they're like, yeah, this, and then I see who they cast, and I'm like, well, why were you even talking to me?
Yes,
We're not like if that's what you wanted, I was never gonna be the part.
Yeah.
Why'd you waste all of our time? But they don't know until they see it, and they just go, aha.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen was talking about the studio, and he was saying it was his first time. I guess must have been his first time like watching the audition tapes, and he was saying how like it fucked him up, and he felt really bad watching it because he was like, everyone was doing so good. It just wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I heard that, and I was like, that's probably how most people watch it. Like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. He doesn't do what we want, but like, keep an eye on that guy or whatever that they say.
Yeah, that's what I look at auditions as now. Is that like I just want the casting director to remember me for something else.
Yeah.
What I want, think of me next time. Because you have to think, especially when you start going out for bigger roles and like big shows, big movies. It's like probably everyone they're looking at is going to be decent.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a nut job who's just like, I'm Walter White. It's like, so just do your thing. It's hell. There's so much you can't control.
Right. That, and then I think that like helps with auditioning and life where you're like, I don't have any control over this. I'm just going to, I'll do my thing. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I'll probably never see you again either way.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird balance of trying to still have hope, but then also not give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like because once I'm done with a self tape, I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna assume I'll never hear about it,
dude.
And if I do, I'll go, ooh, me, and then I'll bomb the callback.
Pavs, who one of the producers here, director of Les Mascots, he helps me out with a few things I've tried, and he always sends it to me like once he's done and not edits it, but just clips it, so it has to be. Yeah. And he sent it to me, and I do not ever look. I'm just like, put that off to whoever needs to see it, but that is not my fucking business.
The fact that some people can go back over any of their footage, having to make clips for social media has slowly eaten away at me. I never want to see myself doing comedy because I'm disgusting. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, well, they're not coming to my page for my looks, so I'll just keep humping the stool or whatever.
I'll just keep humping the stool.
It's because you're always gonna find something. It's so easy to be critical of yourself. We're our biggest critic. So yeah, no, I never want to watch back because I'll probably not send in the tape. Or never mind, screw it.
That's it. I'm like, this is someone else's fucking problem. They gotta watch this.
Every single time like I edit the podcast, I would just like joke with myself because I would be like, all right, I'm not gonna pull up a Botox like plastic surgery page this time. I'd edit, and every single time I'd be like, no, I'm getting more Botox. I'd go to the page, I'd see how expensive it was, I'd be like, never mind, I can't afford it, put the phone down. Every single time I go, I'm not going to pull up the page.
I'm right there with you. I just had a clip come out, and I have done Botox a couple times, and now I'm like, I guess I'm the kind of person who is going to do Botox, but it's been a minute, and I have a clip just yelling at someone on their podcast, and it's just haunted. And it's just shitty as a woman, like especially now it's like everyone's filtered and everyone's perfect, and then
but I see
most people probably aren't even noticing, but you're like my crow's feet or whatever.
I think the filtered and the fillers and stuff like that, like I think the guy version of that is teeth. Like a lot of my friends have gotten new teeth, and
oh my god,
I think that has kind of like made me realize what I think about the other stuff, where it's like, I was like, dude, you guys all have the same smile now. You guys all look like you have the same exact fucking smile. And
it's creepy.
It's creepy. Like 3 of my best friends have like the same smile.
And when they go too big and too white.
Yeah. I think the same thing happens in my brain to like women who've gotten work done, where I'm like, you guys all just look the same age. You know what I mean? Like a 26-year-old who's gotten Botox looks like a 40-year-old who's gotten Botox. Yeah.
That's what's crazy, is that like you're not younger, you're just sort of like in a weird mesh. Well, but I think it's when you get a lot of work done. Yeah. I think a lot of men don't realize that there are women. The amount my boyfriend's been like, well, look at this actress, because I'll have breakdowns, but he goes, and she's perfect, naturally beautiful. I'm like, you think that this woman has never had Botox? Full face makeup on, right? Yeah. She has over $1,000 worth of product on her face. Yeah. I remember being on a date with a guy who we went to see Wonder Woman, and he's like, and I said, oh my God, she was so beautiful. And he's like, I can't believe, and without any makeup. And I was like, I like found an article about her makeup, and I sent it to him, and he's like, he didn't even remember saying it. And I was like, don't you understand? You don't know what we go through. I almost went and got professional makeup for this, because I was like, I'm on a camera. It just, being a woman's a fucking nightmare.
But I think I'm obviously just as dumb, and I think the same things, where I'm like, yeah, she's not even wearing makeup. But I think that's because growing up, girls would always say, I'm not wearing makeup. Well, when they were wearing makeup. Yeah, but now I see a fucking face of makeup, and I go, she doesn't have any makeup on. Because my whole life, people told me that wasn't makeup.
Really?
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't believe
Were
this.
people actually saying that?
I mean, like, it wasn't like this. It sounds like in a clip, it sounds like it happened much more often than it did. But like, girls would pretend to like, no, I'm just not. This is just me.
Oh, I gotta set the expectations way. When I'm not wearing makeup, I say I'm wearing all of it, just to set the expectations way lower.
Yeah.
So when you're wearing makeup,
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't actually do that, but it's just like, I'm just saying I would do the opposite. It's like, why would you lie and say you're not wearing makeup? Because then when someone sees you actually without makeup, they're gonna think you're like a warthog.
They're gonna go, do you have cancer? Yeah. Like that's what, dude. When
but I mean, like young people, like I was a kid. I don't mean like when I was in college. I mean like through like teenage years through high school. I feel like girls were.
You don't think that there's a chance maybe they were in fact not wearing makeup?
Yeah.
Wait.
Maybe some of them weren't wearing
I wasn't
makeup.
even trying to be like, they didn't say that. I'm just surprised to hear that.
Again, it wasn't like girls weren't kicking in the door, be like, no makeup today. But like,
we didn't go to the same school.
But like, it would just come up like, oh, like you look nice. Like, yeah, no makeup today. I don't know. Obviously, maybe this is a smaller situation than I thought it was.
I've definitely done that here, where I'm like, I didn't even wear makeup today, and then I have concealer, eyeliner.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I
like to do it as a bit when I have full makeup on. I just woke up like this. But yeah, no makeup. By the way, is such a skill.
Yeah.
People who can really do their makeup in a way where they just look fresh faced and you aren't sure. I wish. I'm either actually no makeup or Mrs. Doubtfire. Like level. It's
what would you think about if your boyfriend or a guy you know started wearing makeup? How would that sit? No. I'm like genuinely like, if you were with a guy and he was like, I think I'm gonna give makeup a whack, would that be a turn off?
I would just like to see him do it. I go ahead. Let me see how easy you think this is. Yeah, no, give yourself. But men can just grow a beard and that's contour.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think it would weird me out, but
I remember there was a men's makeup brand that started somewhat recently in the last 5 years or so that they had reached out and they were like, they want to advertise, and we were like, no. Cause I forget why. I forget if you know request why. Or whatever. But it was called like war paint, and I remember seeing it and being like, if a guy's gonna use makeup, he's not gonna use like you know what I mean?
War paint.
Like the kind of guy who is gonna bridge that gap to be like the kind of guy who's gonna go, you know what? I'm gonna try makeup. It's not gonna like I'm that guy. Like
you don't need to manly it up.
I've never done it, but if I were to try, I'm probably one of the guys who are like, you could convince me. You're like, all right, I'll give it a whack.
Yeah.
I would not use war paint. Like, I would be like, I'm going to get a better one.
Maybelline.
You're gonna get like Laura Mercier.
Yeah, I'm going to get one with a good reputation. Although, isn't that like a thing that people used to, like, that women would call it that? It's my war paint.
Is that what really?
Yeah, no, I feel like, I don't know who, but that was like a thing.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I don't know if men have the patience for makeup.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I put on, like, setting spray and then you gotta like wait a minute, you gotta do the eyeliner, and then if you mess it up you have to do it again, all that. I don't think you would last past foundation.
No,
I completely
it's an
agree.
art.
Yeah.
It is. I got a lesson. I paid a makeup artist to teach me and I'm still not very good, but miles better. And I would think I was putting makeup on like I believe a man would. And then when she taught me about, like setting spray and you have to let this dry, moisturize, but you have to wait, and then doing the eyes first, it was just like, oh, this is hell.
Were you like in high school, like the orange face, like to here kind of deal?
No, but we definitely had those. We had girls with like the orange face, like the white lips.
Yeah.
And then they had square hair. Like they would tease it. And I was like, what? You look in the mirror and go, yes.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to wear makeup till I was 16 because my stepdad was just a misogynist pig. But then I was just eyeliner, mascara, and like the jizziest looking lip gloss, like glitter, just like it looked like I had frosting on my face all the time. And I'd be like, I'm so hot.
Isn't it crazy, like what the brain does? Like, because you genuinely believe that in that moment, and I have plenty of times where I look like a fucking idiot, and I like in that moment I was like, I am killing this, and somehow like 20 years later, it's like, what the fuck did you think you were doing?
Yeah, you go, why did I do that to me? Yeah, I'll take big swings on outfits sometimes.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my God, am I an icon? And then later I go, I'm a clown. I'm literally a clown.
I have decades of pictures where I'm like, are you wearing like nylon shoes that are hot pink? Like, what the fuck?
And you like chose that and you go like, God, I'm cool.
Yeah. And then 20 years, I'll look back at what I'm wearing right now and I'll go, what the fuck do you think you're wearing, dude?
Yeah.
You think that's an outfit? You look ridiculous.
It never ends. It's like we're never...
You're never going to be content. You're never going to be happy. You're just going to...
No, I'm just going to
You're
constantly
never
go,
finished.
should I get bangs? It's a never-ending battle. It's hell.
I think I'm gonna dye my hair dark.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You
like
are?
dark. I've never done it. I've always been blonde.
I think it would make
When
your
are you
eyes
gonna
pop.
do it?
What?
When are you going to do it?
Okay, well, here's the thing is like I was gonna do it and then Brie got her hair dark, and so now it kind of looks like I'm
bitch.
copying Brie, and I'm about to go on tour with her, so then it
So after tour.
So after tour.
I perhaps when you dye your hair, I don't want to steal your thunder, so
You're gonna also
if you
dye
want
your
to do
hair?
it a solo thing, you can have it. I've been always flirting with shaving my head.
No,
And-
No.
you can't.
I mean
Like
this.
everyone's so
Everyone's really.
I just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
A little.
And unfortunately, that makes me want to do it more.
Do you know how your head is shaped?
Huh?
Do you have any idea how your head is shaped?
No.
Oh, I bet you have like a really
mean, that-
I'm not
round
gonna like
head.
bick it. I just mean like take a buzzer and
Let's
go short.
Go like this.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you have to let us do it like on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Are you gonna get headshots while it's shaved?
I don't think I've had shots. No, I do have had. No. Because I'm not gonna shave it and like become like a shaved head guy. I'm just gonna
Oh, why
shave
not?
it.
What if it looks cool and you're like,
Yeah.
I guess if I'm surprised and I'm like, oh shit, that actually works.
What if you shave your hair and it doesn't grow back?
Well, so I've asked my stylist, shout out Erica Fleischman, Many times. It's the only thing I ask every time I'm
She's
in the
like,
chair.
stop asking.
I'm like, am I going bald? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'll be like, I don't know. Like this part here looks a little weird. She's like, you have a perfect hairline. Shut up.
Let me tell you, she's not going to say it until it's a little bit later than it should be. You're not going bald.
Not
but...
Erica would take care of me. Erica would tell me one way or the other. And it's been like 5 years where I'm like, I should shave my head.
Why though?
I don't know. Just kind of fucking do something different.
That's bangs for men.
Yeah.
It's like, what's really going on? You're like, this will fix me.
Yeah. Are you gonna go shave and dye, like bleach blonde dye?
Slim Shady.
I know. I didn't have any bleach plans.
Grow up.
Yeah.
Bleach with a red beard would look insane.
But you know, that's the whole point. Is like it's kind of to look insane.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
We'll see. Like I'm easily. It's just gonna grow back. So
That's the thing. It's also as a guy, like you could just put a hat on.
Yeah.
And you're fine.
I'm not like literally in like a month it'll be normal looking again. So it's not that big a deal.
Your hair goes fast.
My hair grows pretty fast. I think. I don't know. I don't get it cut very often, so it's kind of just. I don't really pay that much attention.
Wait, let's do it together. We just show up one day.
Both shaved heads.
Both shaved heads.
Dude, men are lucky. Yeah, you just wear a hat and people, it's like a negligible difference probably if you don't like it. As a woman, like if I get a pixie cut and it doesn't look good, my life is ruined for at least a few months. And even after that, when
But
it's
even
like
that,
grow back,
right? Like,
and you have
even that, in the grand scheme of things, a few months, it's just gonna be funny in a year. Like it's not that. It's
when I have a bowl cut. Like, we're back.
everything bad is only bad for like a few weeks at most, and then
That's Buddhism.
And then it's
everything
funny.
passes.
That's a healthy mindset,
Yeah. Everything arises and passes.
Yeah.
The good doesn't last. The bad doesn't last. Whatever.
It doesn't.
No.
And it's not even Buddhism. It's just history. It's
You're
the
right.
way the world works.
I want to shave my head right now. No, it's true. It all like it eventually comes to an end. It fixes itself. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you're gonna be fine.
Dude, I remember we were talking about like quotes and stuff. I remember seeing a visual representation of "Time Heals All Wounds." It like changed my life. I was like,
haven't seen
it's. I'll pull it up for you. It's the coolest like video where I was like, oh yeah, that's exactly how it works. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, you just have to let time pass and just be wounded for a while.
Yeah,
Sure,
but,
you're
like,
bleeding out, but you won't. Eventually, you'll run out of blood.
But as you're bleeding out, doesn't it feel good to know like it's gonna clot?
Yeah.
It will clot.
Oh, that's whoa.
Well,
Not
or
every
it won't.
not
Yeah, or
every
you do
bullet
bleed out.
wound will, but like most
But
of the issues.
sometimes when you're in the thick of it, because that is something that helps me to go like, oh, I'm not gonna feel like this forever. But there's moments where I'm still so usually irrationally upset, where that's just barely helpful. Where I go, well, I won't always feel like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'll just watch a movie, and then in a week I'll feel better.
Yeah. I'll just stay on the couch.
Oh shit, I don't know what time it is. God, time flies when we're having
Oh,
fun.
oops.
Whatever. I'm gonna text this to you. I forgot.
Okay, great.
I have a meeting at 3 that's not here, so I'm
Oh,
gonna be very late for that. But thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my God, thanks for having
Jessica
me.
Michelle Singleton.
Yay.
It's been an absolute blast.
Oh my God, thanks
Honestly,
for having
you're
me.
the best. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much
God,
for
this
coming
is
on.
great. I appreciate you having me.
Go to your website.
Oh, just go to any social media at JMS Comedy, and the link in any of those bios. I have a new special called Hi Y'all, so check that out.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. This
Thank
is awesome.
you.
Really,
This
thank
was
you.
really great. Thank you.
And also, don't give up on that mascot dream.
Season 2, baby.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.